Knicks family, what's poppin'? I'm back in the lab without a mic to grab, and so I add all the rhymes I had. We about to talk Kevin Durant to the Knicks. Is New York the new hotspot? We gonna find out. Let's rock. Knicks family, what's poppin'? Yeah, I'm back in the studio. Glad to be back. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Black, it's time. It is time. We here again. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see everybody coming and checking in. You know what I mean? Had a crazy couple of weeks, but you know, we good. I'm good now. I'm back in the studio. I feel good. Still a little bit tired. You know what I mean? Did a lot of traveling the last 2 weeks. A lot of basketball playing the last 2 weeks. About 12 games, 13 games in 8 days. You know, we played in DC, played in Atlanta. It was crazy, but it was fun. You know what I mean? Some of you guys may have seen the little video, you know, that I put out that just showed where we were playing and stuff like that. You know, that's where a lot of our tournaments look that way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our tournaments look that way. And, you know, on the road, you know, sometimes things are a little bit faulty. Sound was a little bit faulty. But we came through. We did it. You know what I'm saying? It worked. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely back. And I'm glad to be back in the studio. You know what I mean? Do I got some New York Giants talk? Not right now. I'm saving that for a special occasion. You know what I'm saying? You'll get some New York Giants talk real soon. I promise you that. You know what I mean? I promise you that. You know what I mean? On the channel, maybe live. We'll see what's up. But yeah. We definitely gonna have some New York Giants talk because the New York Giants are my team. I love the New York Giants, and I think we're gonna do some good things this year. I think the New York Giants may be back on top of the NFC East. You know, and I know there's a lot of probably Philadelphia fans out there. I live in DC, so a lot of Redskins fans that, you know how it is. Don't want to kill me. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We chilling. We back in the studio. And we're waiting on my man Tommy Dee to come in. But while we're waiting for Tommy Dee to go ahead and call in or jump on the app, we'll go ahead and talk about the possibility of Kevin Durant to the New York Knicks. And I think Tommy Dee has some news for us. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know what you guys think. You know, we could talk about it when Tommy Dee comes in. We'll go ahead and get this. Rocking. Tommy Dee just told me he's going to be on in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? He'll be with me in 5 minutes. So, you know, it's cool. You know, how many of you Kevin Durant to the Knicks? You know, I know a lot of people in the chat. A lot of Knicks fans all over the place are constantly, let's not chase free agents. And I'm with you 100%. I think we need to grow who we have. But if we have the money to get a free agent, then we have the money to get a free agent. Nothing wrong with that. But we definitely need to grow who we have. Grow our young guys. Grow Kristaps Porzingis. Grow Kevin Knox. Right? Grow Frank Ntilikina. We want to grow those guys. We want those guys to we want those guys to reach their potential. But as I've said time and time again, you are definitely going to need a free agent at some point. You know what I mean? Whether that free agent is a star, excuse me, let me power this off. Whether that free agent is a star or if that free agent is a role player. You're going to need some free agents. You know, you're not going to build your team entirely through the draft. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You know, you're going to need free agents every once in a while to patch in pieces of your team. And pieces of your team may sometimes be stars. Sometimes they may be role players. sometimes they may just be veteran leaders. They may be, someone who's just going to ride the end of the bench. But at some point, you're going to need free agents. Most teams in the NBA are made up of, I would say, 75% of their roster are free agents. Even the beloved Golden State Warriors, a huge portion of their roster are free agents. You know what I mean? So yeah, while it is entirely important that we build and grow a homegrown team, I believe in that. Free agents are going to be part of the what do you want to call it? Part of the build, right? It's going to be part of the build. And that's all right. That's all right. And I see Carl Duvall, somebody, calling already. I haven't opened up the lines yet. When I do open up the lines, the number is 516-452-2246. Haven't opened up the lines yet. So we're going to keep this one on hold. Sorry, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep this on hold because we're going to have some, we got a guest coming in pretty soon. I want to get to the guest first. Daniel Anglero, you say sign and trade KP 6 for Durant. But see, I think that'd be defeating the purpose. Right? I think that'd be defeating the purpose. I think the idea would be, especially if you end up having the money to sign a KD, the idea would be to put Kristaps Porzingis with Kevin Durant. I think that would be the idea. CP the artist, you said KD is a cupcake. You think so? I don't know. I don't know, man. KD is I know he's a little sensitive. I'll give you that. He's definitely sensitive. He's a sensitive dude, man. I don't know if he's a cupcake. I think KD can go out there and ball with the best of them. I don't see KD getting pushed around. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that. But I do, I would like to see KD and KP together on one team. Then, of course, you got Knox, the young boy Knox, that's going to be coming up. We'll have to see how that plays out. But why would Kevin Durant even consider coming to New York? That's what I want to know. Why would KD consider coming to New York? Can he play in the New York media? Uptown Twan, you said, can he play in New York with the media though? See, that's a good question. That's a good question. Like CP the artist is saying, he's sensitive. Can he deal with the media in New York? Because the New York media is going to tear you alive. It's going to eat you up. You know what I'm saying? It takes a special kind of guy, you got to have a special attitude to be able to deal with the New York media. Even one of our greatest players ever, Patrick Ewing, sort of had a hard time dealing with the New York media. You know what I mean? Because he just wasn't the kind of guy that was going to deal with he wasn't going to take no shit. You know what I mean? That's how Patrick was. Can KD deal with the New York media? That's a good question. You know what I'm saying? Listen, KD responds to kids. And you guys, I'm sure you guys have watched ESPN and watched Fox Sports and watched all the pundits talk about KD and his sensitivity. He responds to 15-year-olds on the internet. He responds to this person and that person. You heard him respond to CJ McCullough. Listen, CJ McCullough did him a little bit dirty, though. I'll give him that. I think he did. He did him a little bit dirty. But that's the way, that's the world. That's the way it is. And KD has got to be able to, KD's going to have to be able to deal with it if he plans on, doing what he if he ever plans on being in New York, he's gonna have to deal with that, right? You know, so that's definitely a question. That's definitely a question that we'll be able to grapple with. And I have Tommy on the line. Tommy, can you hear me?
I can, Timmy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. And I'm about to get the video over. All right. Hopefully the new app is working for you that I'm using. All right.
So far so good.
Okay, I got Tommy Dee on the line, guys, and we were just in the midst, Tommy, of talking about Kevin Durant to New York. You know, some people in the chat asking, can he handle the New York media? Is he tough enough to be in New York?
So say again.
Some people just kind of asking, can he handle the New York media? Or is he tough enough to play in New York? To deal. There's just been a lot of talk the past few days about KD being sensitive and those type of things, right? Can he handle it in New York?
So, okay, in my opinion, and based off of the stuff that I've talked to a lot of people around the league about in the last not only a couple of weeks but a couple of years, and most importantly, maybe not most importantly, but more validation came today. The KD LeBron stuff is certain. It's like KD is really trying to push on the LeBron, I would say, head to head, which we haven't seen in the NBA for a lot of years, right? You didn't see it with Michael and Kobe. You didn't really see it with Kobe and LeBron. KD really wants it with Kobe there, right? So that's the narrative now. And to answer the question, I don't even really have a good answer to that. I hope that's a good answer. But what I can tell you is, and I don't believe you're going to see this on the mainstream media. I don't believe you're going to see this on, a lot of the talk shows that are trying to push this, this narrative moving forward. Is, in my mind, it's KD really wants to leapfrog LeBron.
Okay.
In terms of titles. So, it's almost like KD he wants to be like the Kobe, right? In the discussion, instead of like the LeBron versus Michael, which it just, again, from a media perspective, it's gold because, just what else can you just wake up in the morning and here we go again with something new. But if LeBron decides, which he already did, that he wants to build this thing in LA, KD's got to decide what's his next move. What's his chess move? Right. He could stay in Golden State, and we've talked about this. He could stay in Golden State. He could go to Washington and try to use Washington as leverage, which I'm not buying. And then he obviously has the Knicks there to try to use them as leverage. So the word that I had, and we've talked about this also, through a pretty decent source, he's cautiously optimistic of what the Knicks have done, and we'll see. There's a lot of time between now and then, but this LeBron KD stuff is real. Yeah, that's a fact.
It seems like it's almost like a big brother, little brother type of thing.
No. This is heavyweight stuff.
Okay.
This is heavyweight stuff.
Okay, so I mean, basically, he basically wants to dethrone LeBron.
Yes.
He wants to be the man.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's
he wants to get to 6, 7, and then be in that Jordan conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then my question is, and hey, Tommy, could you move the maybe the yeah, there you go. Thank you. So my question is, why wouldn't he stay in Golden State then?
I think that's definitely a possibility. I think that's definitely something where if he's comfortable, well, everybody's got to get theirs, right?
Right.
Who's the first to make that decision?
You mean
Who's the first? Who? What's the first shoe to drop in Golden State? Steph got paid.
Okay. Right.
It becomes Draymond or Clay, right?
Right.
And who is more important to that team? And that's a really good question.
That is a really good question. That's a really good question.
That's a whole. I mean, we could do a whole hour on that one, right?
Right. Exactly. Wow. Yeah. And then maybe he.
I don't know if I have an answer for that one, by the way.
Yeah.
I know what I would say. But
I mean that's a tough one. Who's more important, Draymond or Clay? I mean, I almost would go with Draymond. Me.
In the West for sure, because you need him to be able to move past the certain teams.
Yeah.
And get to the finals. But now that LeBron's in LA, that's a big game changer.
Yeah. What do you think about the team that they've built around LeBron so far? I mean, I know, they've got a lot of work to do in the coming years, but just, they've added Rondo, they've added Michael Beasley, they've added Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee. And then, they're adding that to Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma and those guys. What do you think about the team right now? Do you think they make the playoffs?
They'll make the playoffs because they have LeBron.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But in terms of them being a good team, it's LeBron has tested himself. That's what he's built himself upon every year. That's why he's such a great player. Obviously, what he did yesterday in opening up the school, just elevates him, and he's an amazing human being. Reminds me of certainly what Michael Jordan has done with this foundation. Ernie Els has done with autism, and his hardships that he's had within his own family. Michael Jordan's foundation, clearly, Magic stuff within the inner cities, and trying to bring people in together, and through all of his entrepreneurial efforts.
Yeah.
It's admirable, 100%. To go to LA though, Melo just did that in New York. This. Melo just did that with the Knicks, and they didn't win.
Right.
And then that's when everybody in the media starts saying, like, well, maybe he's doing too much. Maybe he's not thinking about stuff on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hearing that stuff with LA and on ESPN. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Right. Right. Because to me, with LeBron going to LA, that was a clear motive, in my opinion. Some of the stuff that's off, not that he doesn't want to win, but some of the stuff that's off the court, I think was a clear motive with him moving to LA. I think. But to go back to what you're saying,
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, I think that's a clear motive. But the thing with the school,
not that that's a bad thing. I mean,
right,
obviously not.
Exactly. When
calculated, it's definitely calculated in a way that he's making up for some maybes, and that's, to me, in my opinion, making the decision to go to Miami for him was a business decision as much as it was winning championships early, and it didn't put him necessarily in the best situation moving forward business-wise. Because then it's like, all right, you leaned on people. All right, now what are you going to do? Oh, I go back to Cleveland and do that. And, it's all been very disjointed. But this, to me, going and meeting with Magic, that was, as the media has told and whatever Magic said on Jimmy Kimmel, that was the
That was
straw. That was the not the straw, but the thing that pushed him into being with the Lakers, which
yeah,
a lot of people thought was going to be the case for a long time.
right.
But are they a playoff team with those players? To answer your question, and I like long-winded answers, and I'm not sure I like them, but I find myself there. I don't know if Brandon Ingram is strong enough to play in playoff, and play 100 games or 115 or 110 games, whatever it is. I'm not I'm certainly not sold on Lonzo Ball shooting 48% from the line, and
Yeah,
if he's the guy with the ball all the time, and I'm sure that number is going to go up, but he's a major question mark. Who's the best young player on that within that group, and with those other veterans? I think that's a 500. I think that. I don't think that if you were to ask me a direct question of are they a team that hosts a first round playoff series right now, I don't see that being the case. With no trades and nothing else going on, no way being the case.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to be following them closely. Just it's going to be entertaining to say the least. I think with the group of guys they got there, the group of veterans that they brought in, I think that's going to be pretty entertaining. But you know what? At the age that at the age that they are now, Rondo and Beasley and all those guys, they might just be mature enough to be able to put something together and be able to handle the locker room. And with LeBron there, just LeBron is going to bring in a certain level of respect anyway. So we'll see.
I agree with that.
Yeah, we'll see. And going back, this is just a little tidbit. Just we were talking about LeBron going to LA. One of his motives, was maybe outside of the basketball court, and how Melo kind of got killed for it in New York. When they did that spread, I think it was ESPN. They did that big spread where that big article about Melo and his businesses in New York. I don't understand some people when it comes to athletes. It's like they don't understand that these athletes are businesses all by themselves, right? And they're gonna retire in their early to late 30s, mid to late 30s. And they have another 40 to 50 years to live.
It's a long time.
That's a long time. And some athletes, if you're in the right mindset, you want to set up so generations of your family can be taken care of. So yeah, it clearly it should be. There should be way more to what you're doing besides basketball.
There are people who understand business, and there are people who don't understand business.
Yeah.
And I encourage, and I've said this a lot, if you've never been in business, try it. Don't be afraid to fail, even if it's just some sort of, just whatever. Send your daughter out to sell, Girl Scout cookies or lemonade stand or whatever it is. Entrepreneurs are, I'm starting to sound like, Gary Vaynerchuk in a lot of ways, who I admire. But, if you admire athletes for the reasons of them getting to that point, which has been, way above what you've accomplished. So you can't look at them and say, now because you make more money than me, and you're not performing, that's to that level. Fans shouldn't be setting that level, right, for those individual players.
Yeah, I agree.
You have a certain amount of money there's a certain amount of time to make a certain amount of money, and that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people understand that, and to me, I've understood that for a long time, and people who can relate to players. That's why I've been able to get along with players.
Mm-hmm.
If you relate to them in that way, they get it. It's all about getting it in that sense. And it's not easy. Some people can go to school and know someone to hand them a job, and that becomes their career. And But that's not always the case for everybody. And if you know that at an early age, then it's your life, and there's no turning back.
Exactly.
Carmelo Anthony can't walk into it. Not that he would need to, but he can't put his resume in front of a human resource person and be like, hey, I would like to be a digital manager,
right,
or a social worker,
right.
And he could make a couple phone calls, I'm sure, and find somebody to get them there. But and for his family, which is a great thing, make sure that they're going to have jobs moving forward over the course of generations, and that's what, in my opinion, that's a great thing.
It is. It's a great thing. Great thing. So let's just say Durant did come to the Knicks. Clearly, like you said, he's he's optimistic. So if he's optimistic, that means he's watching to see what the organization does. So some interest is there, right? So let's just say he did. Kevin Durant, Porzingis, Kevin Knox, based on, let's just take it from who we have here. I know some people want to throw Kyrie Irving in there, but just based on who we have here. If you have those three, then you have Frank Ntilikina at the point guard spot, and you have Tim Hardaway Jr. What kind of team do you think that is?
In terms of wins?
Yeah.
With this year, with LeBron out of the East?
Out of the East, yeah.
With Durant?
With KD, Porzingis. I don't know how, that works if KP is at the 5, but, KP, Porzingis, Kevin Knox, Ntilikina, or if it's Trey Burke, I'm going to say Ntilikina, going forward, at least into the future. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 2.
So give me the next 2 off the bench.
Off the bench, who we're talking about? I guess maybe Trey Burke at the point guard spot. I guess you could take Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina, whichever one it was.
All right. So we got who's the 8? So we got Ntilikina. We got Hardaway. No, we got. I'm sorry. We got Kyrie.
Okay. So if you're adding Kyrie, you would have Kyrie at the 1.
At the 1.
Right. So then probably Hardaway at the 2. Knox at the 3. Durant at the 4, and then I guess KP would be at the 5.
Porzingis at the 5.
Right. Then you'd have Mitchell Robinson off the bench. Ntilikina off the bench.
For sure.
Probably Trey Burke off the bench.
I'm not sure about him, but okay. And I said I got into trouble when we were talking about the last time about and it's not dislike with Burke. I need someone at that spot who's going to guard multiple spots.
Yeah, I hear you.
Or score from multiple spots. So I'm taking Hazonia over Burke.
Okay. I forgot. Forget. Yeah, I was forgetting about Mario Hazonia.
I got Robinson, Hazonia, and under Troy Williams, who we talked about last time, who I thought was going to stick, did not stick.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put in there in that spot. Cantor on a 1 year, just like a mini deal.
Yeah, Cantor maybe on a mini deal. What do you think about Trier? Do you think he sticks around over Dotson?
Well, let's go back to the original one.
Okay.
How many wins does Kyrie, Hardaway Jr., Knox, Durant, Porzingis, and I'm just counting on my hand.
That's 5, and then
Ntilikina.
Yep, Ntilikina.
Hazonia.
Cantor. Mitchell Robinson.
I got Robinson.
Okay, you got Robinson. Okay.
And who's the 9th? Do you want to say Dotson?
Dotson.
At the 9th? Okay.
Yeah, say Dotson.
That team, which is not going to be this year, that's next year. That team wins in the East. If LeBron doesn't come back, that team wins 52 games.
Okay. 52 games.
Easy. Top 4 team.
Mm-hmm.
And loses to either Toronto or Boston in the Eastern Conference semis, or Washington.
Okay.
But if Durant is with the Knicks, Washington, I don't think is going to beat them anyway. So I don't know why they traded Gortat. Maybe to clear space for the potential of Durant.
Right.
But as we've already talked about, Durant, I think, is, and I know he's PG County. I know he's an Under Armour guy. I know he's PG County. But he knows if he's going to leave out there, which I'm not sure he will. Because here's, again, the initial, Tommy D's out here to talk about Durant, and I'm okay with that. Because I got the good info, dude. I do have the good info, and I'll put my hand on a whatever.
Right.
Put me on a liar detector or whatever the hell they call those things. It's Durant, LeBron. It's LeBron, Durant, LeBron. However you want to do it. And yes, does LeBron have this, off the court public persona? For sure. Does Durant have that? No, Durant is more this surly, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that he's not fulfilled in his life, and maybe that was because he thought going to Golden State was going to help that, and maybe he'll be that way his whole life. Who knows? I'm not
right.
a psychiatrist under any circumstance. There's a lot of amateur psychiatrists out there who are going to be looking at this and saying, "Oh, but get your degree," and we'll talk.
Yeah, and I can see if he, competing with LeBron the way you say he's competitive with LeBron. I could see why going to the Knicks would be, if the Knicks have, they should have the money, they should have some young players. I could see why he would say this is a step. LeBron is trying to bring the Lakers back, which, I mean, bring it back from a few years not making the playoffs. And if I can bring the Knicks back to a championship level contender and win some championships with the Knicks, that would one up LeBron.
It's the thirst, dude. Like, and know this, like the Lakers' thirst of 5 years or 7 years or whatever. Like that's it's like the Yankees. Like nobody feels bad for you. The New York Rangers went 54 years. New York went 54 years without a championship. The Knicks are at 1973. This is 2018. You're talking about 45 years. Mark Messier can do whatever he wants in this town, right? Like, it's not a town, it's a city. It's the biggest city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, that opportunity. And I talked about this a lot in 2010. LeBron did consider the opportunity. And this wasn't about, the owner. The owner was ready to give him everything. You saw the stories of, oh, you know what? He was concerned about Donnie Walsh in a wheelchair. Woj hated me. He's never talked to me since when I called him out on that on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, this was not about Donnie Walsh being in a wheelchair. Like, it wasn't. This was about more than that. This was about dealing with the media if you lose the first year. Like A-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron was super conscious about the first year not winning. That's why, if you remember, the New York Post, Mark Berman, who continues to do a really great job, gets the great scoop, goes out to Cleveland and interviews LeBron after he interviewed Eddie Curry. Very few people remember this. I remembered it because I was, Nick's blog was, we did this every single minute of every single day for SMY. Eddie Curry, LeBron said to him directly after the fact, we found this out through sources from, LeBron's former agency. What did you talk to Eddie Curry about? And he said, Eddie, can you do this? And you can remember, Eddie didn't want to do it anymore because he got tied up in his house,
Right,
in Chicago,
right.
and he was done with it. He was injured. He had a knee. He was young, but he just at that point he was like, it's not worth it. He had guaranteed money. Good for him, but imagine. Can you imagine? And this is what's so crazy to me about, how people react to athletes and such when you have this information. Eddie Curry was tied up and hijacked, and a gun was pointed in his face.
Right.
And if you talk to any Knicks fan, the average Knicks fan, what do you think about Eddie Curry? And do this, do a poll or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The average Knicks fan will sit there and be like, bum, bust, bum, bust, bum. Gave up picks. Oh, we gave up draft pick. We could have had LaMarcus Aldridge. No, Joakim Noah. Paid him a ton. Okay, that's true. But he had a couple of years left, and he had one great year.
Yeah.
And he was, and if he could have proved and looked at LeBron, and this is a true story from LeBron's former agency. If he could have proved that he invited Eddie out to his house. Can you do this? I can't do it.
Wow.
And that and the back, because he's still under contract, still getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't move his contract.
Right. Wow.
That was a huge reason, one of the biggest reasons why LeBron didn't come initially. And that's the truth.
Wow. Yeah, that's something. That's something. Wow. I never heard that. I never heard that. Never heard that. But wow. I'm gonna.
We wrote it on the Knicks blog, and we told it on SNY.TV. But
Yeah. Wow.
Somewhere got lost in the archives, I suppose.
Got lost in it. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm gonna take a couple of calls, and you know what? I think this time you should be able to hear those calls. I think I got it hooked up. So let's see who's on. I know I had one person calling really, really early. We'll see if he's still on the line.
Let's do it.
You're on live with nothing but Knicks and Tommy Dee. What's popping with you? You still there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me? What's going on with you, man? You've been on hold for a while, so talk to me.
What's up, Simi? It's an honor, man. It's an honor to be on your show, man.
Appreciate it. So hopefully you've been listening to the show. We've been talking about KD. We've been talking about him possibly coming to the Knicks, LeBron James. What do you think?
Yeah. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good for KD to come to the Knicks because, for him and Porzingis to team up along with the young guys that we have already, it's gonna be nice. It would be real nice. I think it could really work. I think it could really mesh. The chemistry would be good.
Okay. You think when KP comes back, if KD is here, KP is probably going to the 5. Can he handle the 5? You think? At that time, listen, he's going to be probably out till December, January, February next year. Hopefully, he's building up his upper body. He can't do too much with his legs now, but he needs to build that lower body, strengthen his, the lower half of his body. And, but hopefully, if that time comes, he'd be able to handle that. I'm not too worried about the offensive side of the ball, but the other side of the ball. What do you think?
Yeah, I think see this one is difficult because with Porzingis you really don't want to rush it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to rush it. You want to make sure that he comes back strong, healthy, and it's not like we're going to the finals or the playoffs anytime soon. So it's like just nurture it, make sure it's all right, make sure he has to make sure he gets bigger, stronger, and and he's able to really to get busy in the paint. You know what I'm saying? So it's from how I'm looking at it, I say, because matter of fact, I read something today saying that they look like Porzingis might come back in December around that time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, that's to me, that's still, you know, that's still rushing it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, you think that's rushing it a little bit? I mean, you know, I feel, you know, I kind of agree. You know, I kind of agree. I feel like whatever they say, but you never know. You never know what they're saying in the doctor's office. They could say December, but really they told him November or October, and then they said, but give it 2 months so that, you know, to make sure you're really, really strong. Who knows? But I feel like whatever the doctor initially says, if the doctor says, yeah, you can come back in December, maybe don't come back until January, just to be, just to be super cautious. That's just me, especially in a year where, I don't know. You know what? It's going to be hard to say. If you're looking at the Knicks, probably aren't going to be in playoff contention, or they could be maybe halfway through the year. We don't know. I don't want that to. If the Knicks were in playoff contention, I don't want KP to say, "Wow, I need to come back so we can get into the playoffs." You know, I want to make sure that when he comes back, he's 100%. You know, we got to look at a bigger picture, I think. You know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, I hear how you be getting on Porzingis too, my man.
I mean, listen, I love Porzingis. There's just, you know, there's just some things that I want to see out of him that I'm hoping to see that he does in the next few years. You know, he's. You know, some of his development has been slowed down due to the injury. You know, but hopefully, but hopefully the putting on the strength, not the weight, but the muscle will be something that, you know, part of his development as well. You know, but hey, man, I appreciate the call. I know I got some other people that want to try to jump in, so I'm gonna let you go. All right, I thank you for being on hold for so long.
It's all right, man. It's an honor, man. And also, I hear you talking about Nas, man. Real quick, big up to Nas.
That's my man.
I want to hear you talk more about Cormega, man. Don't forget about Cormega.
Okay. I never will. All right. We'll talk about Cormega one of these times. We'll get to him for sure. I like Cormega. That's my man. Yeah. All right. Peace out, man. Appreciate it.
Ask me about both.
What'd you say, Tommy?
I said, ask me. We'll look forward to talking about both.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, so, and I also got, Tommy, you might be able to see in the video, you know, we got our guy Tony Crow. He's a regular on the show, and it looks like, you know, we got another guy coming in that's a regular on the show. Looks like this is gonna be, I'm not sure who it is. It's just a black hole right now. Not sure who it is, so I guess we'll get a chance to see who that is. But we got another call coming in, so I'm gonna check this out. You're on live with Nothing But Knicks. Who am I speaking with? Hello.
Hello?
Yep, you're on live, man. What's popping?
Popping. My name's B98. Usually in the chat.
Yeah, what's up?
The chat.
I'm doing great.
Doing good, man. So what's your take on it? Take on
what? I'm a little late jumping into this. Take on what?
We're talking about KD to the Knicks, the possibility of KD to the Knicks.
I don't see that that's very likely. I already feel like we have that KD potentially in Kevin Knox. I feel like that was a fantastic fantastic pickup in the draft. I don't really think or see us picking up KD. I think we should just stick with developing Mr. Knox. He's 18. And just really focus on tapping into his potential, because his upside, in my opinion, could possibly be KD. We could probably have a KD. We don't even need him.
It's possible. But if you can add two KDs and you're able to put one at the 3 and the 4, I mean, my thing is this. Listen, I agree with you 100%. Right? We want to develop our young guys. It's been a very long time since we've had something that is homegrown in New York. And if you talk about KP and Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina, you know, you're growing guys at home, but eventually, and it's without a doubt, you're gonna have to add some. You know, you got to do both. You got to, you know, to develop and build your team. You got to add guys from, you know, of course, draft picks. You've got to bring in free agents. And at some point, you're going to have to bring in a free agent. You know what I mean? And if you have the money and he's available and he's interested, why not? And you're not touching any of your young guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And just to follow up with that question, would you have, and this is hypothetical, if KD was to sign to the Knicks, where would you see Kevin Knox being? Would you have him at the 4? Would you have KD at the 4? KP at the 5? What would be your ideal lineup if we was to acquire KD?
Well, and we were just talking about, that ideal lineup, but I think at that point, you got Kevin Knox, who's 6'9", could possibly grow to be 6'10". KD is what's KD, Tommy? 6'11", 6'10", 6'11", something like that.
6'10",
6'10", right? So you got him and Kevin Knox, basically the same height. They can. I mean, you don't even have to say
you're still growing too.
Yes, exactly, still growing. So you don't even have to say you're the 3, you're the 4, right? They could just go out there and play ball, and they'd be able to switch on defense because they're the same height. And KP too, even though you might slide him and say you're at the 5, it doesn't mean that if he's in the position to make a play as a 3-man, he doesn't make the play as a 3-man, or they're on a break and he's in that position, whatever, however you want to say it.
If you can match Durant and Knox, right, and then even bring Hazonia, even if you just as an example, you have, but in the post you could switch them all in the post, and then stretch them all out to the perimeter, and then the only thing that they don't have is the drive and kick player, and that's where Ntilikina comes in as not the drive and kick player, but the guy that they can bring in off the bench to guard the perimeter, guard 3-4 positions, and knock down shots, and be able to then develop his drive and kick game. The only thing they're missing is the drive and kick game. That's what they need. That's what they need. They have a good good screen, top screener. Cantor is sort of the X factor. You get through this year and figure out if he wants to be, and see if he can give you some bench minutes. Robinson is a couple years away. He's not that guy. Obviously, O'Quinn's not there. You got to figure out what Porzingis will do moving forward as the franchise, and that's why Fizdale went out to Latvia, and we'll see what they decide this year with him. They could trade him. They could trade him for obviously a very big piece, but that has to be either a player like him or a point guard. And if Kyrie, they feel like Kyrie is got the inside track there, and you can add a guy like Durant, which I'm not sure that's the case. But if you have Kyrie and Butler with Porzingis over the next 4 or 5 years, then you're going to compete. At this stage, right? Is it not about just competing? It's about getting to the finals. And we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. So I got
my take. Sorry for cutting you off. My take is if we're looking for that person that can drive and kick, one person that both of you have not mentioned is Moutier. Moutier, he has gotten a bad rap on Nuggets, but his driving and kick game is, if we can see some improvement with him this year, there's a big chance he can be that guy. We know he
loves to drive and fall. He loves to drive. If you how do you so I'll respond to it this way. How do you teach? And Fizz can talk about this all day long. And if I walked into the gym and I looked at a kid 6'4" who had his size and skill and ability, I would say the same thing to the media who was sticking microphones in my face. As a teacher, how would you teach him to not go downhill all the way, and when he can't make a play, stop falling? Because he's really good at that. Not being fouled, no contact, bad feet, so it's not finishing. It's just he falls. He just falls over.
Yeah.
And it's not fouls. It's not being fouled. So that's my question. I don't know the answer to that, but it just early on in the evaluation process, which is my point. How would you teach How could you teach a player like that to stop doing that?
Yeah, man. I guess the only, maybe working, having him do some off-season work on his balance. How to land. I don't know. Hey, my man, thank you for the call, man. I know I got some other people that's trying to get in, but I appreciate it.
Got you. Appreciate you, Sim. Thank you for picking up the call. Thank you, Tommy. Shout out to the chat. Salute. One.
Peace. All right, and we got Tommy. We got online. I know he's dying to get on. We got Who's Mark. He's been. I know he's been talking in the background. You could probably hear him. So I'm opening it up for you, Who's Mark. But we got a special guest. So be cool with us. Be cool with us, Who's Mark. Hey, Mark, can you hear me? You got to turn down in the back.
Yeah, I'm cool. Like I'm chilling, man.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
I ain't heady to, do my regular thing. But what KD ain't coming to the Knicks, man.
What's up,
What's up, Tommy?
How you doing, bro?
I feel like KD's not coming to the Knicks. Number one, I don't think that dude can handle this type. It's the media. To me, like when I feel like with like a personality like KD, he has to have a cast of stars with him so they can all bear that media hit. Because if he came to New York,
that's LeBron, man.
He would
that
be.
Was LeBron in 2010.
LeBron was.
And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah. LeBron can't handle that type of media. He gets media, but more of the media he gets today is about him and what he does good. New York media will trash you even when you're doing good. New York media will just trash you. That's why he didn't want to come 2010. And another reason why he didn't want to come 2010, even though James Dolan would have gave him the real estate, he didn't trust James Dolan. He don't trust James Dolan as an owner. Because number one, James Dolan isn't a basketball owner like his father was.
Who's that, LeBron? LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron want those type of owners that know the game of basketball.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No, I know that that's not true.
Okay.
I know that that's not true. I know that what I could tell you 100% because I lived this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I reported it, SNY and the whole deal. For sure, it wasn't the owner.
Okay.
2010, and he had a very sweet deal.
Oh, of course.
And what he was most concerned about, from what I understand, and a lot of people talked about this. Chris Broussard talked about this. It was the treatment of not winning a championship in the first year.
Yeah.
In the first year.
Yeah,
first year.
He could have won 5 championships. If he won 6 championships after the first year, he would. Where would we be now, right?
Let me tell you something. I feel
he couldn't get past the first year. That's what we were talking about. Some of you and I were talking about before with Eddie Curry. Like he couldn't get past that first year.
Yeah, wow.
And that's why he's not in New York.
I feel like if he came to New York that year and didn't win, I feel like he would not have a ring at all because I feel like that.
I can't say I know that to be the case.
Yeah.
But I can't. Well, here's what I could tell you. Just because I've lived this again. He goes to Miami. Brian Windhorst goes down to Miami, and I'm not knocking people in their career and what ended up happening. And this is not speaking out of school, but he goes down to Miami. The coverage there was not as harsh, nearly as harsh as in New York. He goes, and remember, his first 3 years in Miami, he and Dwayne Wade did every press conference together. Mm-hmm. So, he didn't have to sit in front of a camera alone in that first year or in that second year, even after making it to the finals.
LeBron needed a buffer.
He needed 2 championships before he could have his own press conference together. Nobody talks about that stuff. That would never have happened in New York, and that's why he wasn't a Knick in 2010.
Yeah, I knew it was the media. I always say why LeBron would never come is because of the media. And at the time, it would
have been the best thing for the papers The Daily News would still be in business.
I felt like
That's a fact. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing too. What kind of really made me mad? What the Knicks did when we was getting ready to go get Carmelo. We should have waited because I felt like Carmelo.
Wasn't gonna happen.
No, I know because of both sides wanted to get here and get into that position. But I felt like Carmelo was that type of player that could withstand New York media. Just for some odd reason. He handled it with the most coolness I've ever seen from an athlete in this type of media. And that's how I feel about Porzingis, because when I watch him, it's just.
That's why I don't like this. That's why I don't like this stuff on Twitter right now. Everybody's talking about Carmelo getting his bag. That's I'm not into that, because he came here and went through that.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to win. He came here to win. He didn't just come here to get the money.
The Knicks just.
And everybody thinks it's this joke that he just, he got every single cent and all this stuff moving forward. Like, he had to do that at that time. The collective bargaining agreement and the Players Association.
Exactly. And so many people just, it goes back to what we were talking about before.
It kills me about Melo.
I don't like that joke. I think that joke is corny. Shit. Like,
because when you surround, I felt like if you surround Melo with players who he trusts, he's a high capable passer. It's just when you play with talent that's not near your level or competent, it's hard to trust him. And that was his main problem after that 2013 season. Because that 2013 season, you seen that he trusted players. You seen that
he got hurt too, though.
He got hurt too.
His knees haven't been the same.
Yeah, he got hurt too. But I felt like in that Indiana series, I swear, if J.R. Smith would have hit at least 2 of those threes, and we could have won in Indiana and took it back home, we could have went to the finals. I felt like that Knicks team was great enough to go against Miami.
I am with you. I think we could have went.
Two moments. Piazza hitting the ball off Mariano Rivera that I thought was a home run.
God.
Would have been his defining moment, and it fell short. And then Carmelo getting his shot blocked by Hibbert.
That was Tyson Chandler getting
at the moment. But the moment though.
Yeah, that moment was big.
If Melo dunks it on Hibbert there, they win. Yeah. They probably lose to the Heat, but it's a competitive series because it's LeBron and Melo and all that.
Tommy, you know why I felt like, because that year I went to all of the Knicks games when I seen them play against Miami. We had the offense. Yes. We had the offense because I always say to beat LeBron James is to have him move around to play defense. And like when he went against teams like Indiana, they didn't play an offense to a point where he had to move around. It's more of him stationary, playing linebacker and just reading the passing lane. That's what made him good in Miami.
Because he had Wade. Because he had and Bosh.
And this whole theory with LeBron, like he's a good one-on-one defender. No, he's a great team defender. When you allow him to roam the way he did in Miami and blitz the way they did.
Yep.
And the fact that we had great spacing that year and we had great shooting that year. We was number 1 in 3-point attempts made. And I felt like LeBron could not guard Melo. He could not guard Melo just because Melo has moves.
Yeah, that was a time.
Series. And I got a lot of stuff on Twitter there saying, because I thought if they added Jared Dudley, if they gave up Shumpert and a late first round pick to get Jared Dudley, that would have been, get me to that Heat series.
And Tommy and
that squad without Shumpert and with Dudley.
Yeah.
Let's go. That was a really good team.
What people don't realize, LeBron was afraid to go in the paint when Tyson Chandler was around.
Timmy, we got a Who's Mark takeover now, man.
I know. Tell me about it. Hey, Mark is a good guy, man. Hey, let me get to this call.
Go ahead.
All right, let me get to this call.
Good stuff, Mark. Good man.
I felt like that was our year because I watched I probably went to like 20 Knicks games that year.
Yeah.
20 Knicks games.
I was at that Heat game. There was a lot of it was like 65-35 Knicks Heat fans.
Yeah.
And they were trying to be like the LeBron. And I've been in the Garden where you have to, where it's like 80-20 Kobe Knicks fans. And that was like, 65-35 LeBron fans.
Yeah.
And,
you know what's so funny?
And they sent them, and we all sent them going away.
All right, let me get to this call. Let me get to this call.
Tommy?
Hold up, Mark. Hey, Mark,
Oh,
let
my
me get to
bad.
this call.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. I got my man Ron Cleveland. I know you're on the line. What's going on, Ron?
Melo really.
Man.
Yes, sir. What's happening with you?
Man, Sam, all this talk about our Knickerbockers, man, and what people trying to do, you know what I mean, who want to come to us and all this, man.
Hey, Ron, can you speak closer to the phone or the mic?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better, but you're always kind of low when you come on. If you can get closer to the mic, or I don't know if you're on speaker or what, you know, so we can make. I know everybody wants to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I took you off speaker. Yeah, man. Hey, all this talk about everybody wanting to come to the Knicks, man. I'm loving it. But one thing I heard, and I appreciated this too, they say it's not coming from our front office. So evidently this stuff that's being talked, you know, where there's smoke, there's some fire. And I was sitting there listening to you guys talk about KD wanting to come to New York. And I'll say this in regards to the whole situation with that. KD wanting to come to New York would be a power movement. And when I say a power move, for as calculating as LeBron is, and I'll go on record and say this, I think he didn't really think the situation through, because we all know he still want to chase Jordan, try to get them rings, right? So we know he's not going to catch Jordan. We're getting 6 rings. But had he came to New York and got one, it would be no more question about who's the greatest, because he will have won a title in his home area that hadn't won a title. Now you come to New York, who hadn't won one in 45 years? Come on, Sim. What would that have done for LeBron's legacy?
Listen, wait, hold on. Let me ask this. That's a great point, and it's something I think about a lot, and I just have this thought. How many championships did you watch Jordan win?
Oh, I watched every last one. I watched him break my heart plenty of years.
Me too, man.
So you watched every minute of every game that Jordan played.
Oh yeah.
You're telling me that the separating factor between LeBron being the greatest basketball player of all time and Michael Jordan being the greatest basketball player of all time is him winning one championship with the Knicks?
Not the one championship with the Knicks. You get one with the Knicks. You get one with Cleveland, who hadn't won a title in any of those franchises' history since God knows when. And then on top of this, and I'm one of the biggest Michael Jordan supporters, diehard North Carolina Tar Heel fan. And when I tell you, when you look at the players, you can't look past what the players do. The only knock that really been on LeBron so far as his game-wise, everybody says he don't have that killer instinct. But when you look at what he does in every facet of the game, you got to give the man his credit. For all of us who had the privilege of watching Michael Jordan and watching LeBron, you know what I mean? I'm not one of them guys that was just born yesterday. You feel me? I've been able to see both these guys' career from the time they came into the league to the time they retired. And when LeBron retired, I'll be able to see him retire. But when you look at LeBron's game as a whole, there's no denying, basketball player-wise, skill set-wise, the guy has the skill set. You can't deny that.
No, he does. And
win.
My second thought there is, when did Magic become obsolete? Right? When did Magic become the non-skill, complete skill set guy? You know. But he never became obsolete. I'm hearing that he watched all of Michael Jordan's, you know, and he maybe just in that just missed a little of Magic, and I miss some Magic too. But I want to, you go back and research it and you watch it.
Hey Tommy, I'm about to be 45 this year, man. I'm about to be 45 this year. So the last time the Knicks won was when I was born.
So when did Magic become obsolete?
Magic never became obsolete in my eyes. That's why I never understood the narrative of comparing LeBron to Jordan.
That's what I'm saying.
That was the biggest thing. Everybody ran that. Really, they should have been comparing him to Magic because their games are mirror images.
That's what I'm saying. Images.
There you go.
The size of the player and everything is exactly what LeBron is Magic Johnson 2.0. He is every bit of Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
He's Magic and Jordan athletically, but what Magic did have that ability to close games, and LeBron learned that in the last couple of years. But I don't know. Like that's where, you know, if you see me on Twitter and stuff, getting at people who are like, oh, let's talk about this LeBron Jordan stuff. That's the millennial versus, you know, hey, the old guys stuff, and we're not that old. Like and that's where I'm like, and it's the same stuff with Kobe. Like, when did Kobe become obsolete?
Really, that's who they need to be comparing to Jordan. I mean, Jordan and Kobe games are mirror images. Both of them played the same position. That's who the narrative should have been compared to. It should have never been LeBron and Jordan. But what made it become LeBron and Jordan?
Jordan's a lot better than Kobe.
There's no denying in both of these guys' era, they were the greatest player in their era. So that's how I think that narrative came about is because LeBron is the best, no doubt, that we've seen since Jordan in this era right now. LeBron has it. And if Magic played today, you know, even without if Magic just decided to you know, play the way that he played back then, he'd be triple double. He learned how to shoot threes.
Yeah,
you know, at 6'9", he should be able to get threes off. Like,
but I want to say this before I jump off too. But back to the KD discussion, because really that was the thing that really I wanted to chime in on. KD will leave Golden State, and for this reason, I really do feel KD has done what he wanted to do. We know those guys' legacy is all about winning rings, but eventually, all those guys really got a lot of alpha in them. I don't know about Clay too much, but when it comes to KD, Steph, and Draymond, them guys got alpha in them. And KD, no matter how many rings he win with Golden State, the narrative is only going to always be he went to Golden State to win those titles. He never won it on his own team.
And here's why I don't care why Clay doesn't have alpha. Clay's going to be the guy that's going to stop people in transition, and then he's going to look for the ball in transition, knock down threes. Like, he's not. Yeah, to me, he's
the ultimate role player. He's the ultimate role player.
Perfect. He's almost a better 1B, and Pippen wasn't 1B. Pippen was 2. So he's a Dumars. He's the perfect Dumars. Again, and give me that guy every day of the week.
Yeah. He's a guy who wants to change.
At 6'7", who can bang it down and stop guys in transition. Watch Clay in transition. To me, like, that's the stuff that I just, you know, it stops the game for me, right? Like, how do you stop LeBron James in transition? If Clay does it one time in 2 or 3 times in a year, when we say, you know, nobody highlights that, but I like run out of the room because I'm like, nobody can do that but him.
Yeah.
Draymond, maybe if he's in the right spot, but he'll foul. Clay will do it without fouling, and that to me is
Clay will play defense and offense, and that's amazing in this era when you really don't see guys who play both sides of the ball. Clay could have played in any era.
That's a fact.
Just because of the ability to play defense.
That's a fact. Score. In transition. And the game's never been, never been fast.
And he never looks like he's tired. His energy level is always up.
That's a fact.
There you go. Hey, Ron.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad I got you in. I know the last stream, the audio was acting up a little bit.
Where you at on Twitter, Ron? Am I following you?
I used to be on Twitter, man, but you might be picking up my son if you see a Ronald Cleveland. My son be all over Twitter, man. I really don't. I really don't follow with social media, man, because a lot of times you can't win with that. You know what I mean?
You're right about that.
You can't win with that. And them guys, some of the stuff people say on Twitter, man, it makes you wonder what in the world they're thinking. What are they in? With some of the stuff I had come out of people's mouths, man. Even guys who's supposed to be quote unquote aficionados that know the game, like they're supposed to know the game and had the ability to see both areas. Some of the stuff I hear sometimes, so I just lay off that and I leave that for my 21-year-old son, man, and
well, hey, listen. As long as I can find you here, man, let's go.
There you go.
Hey, definitely. Hey, the Knicks. Hey, Sam, ain't no more. We will be back. Hey, the Knicks is back, man.
We're back. There you go. That's the saying, Tommy. That's the saying. The Knicks are
He's
back.
not lying.
That's the saying. Yeah.
It's gonna be a beautiful year, man. It's gonna be a beautiful year.
I'm excited.
Play this year when he come in. Oh, it's gonna really blow the roof off, man.
There it is. I'm excited. Hey, Ron, man, I thank you for calling in as usual.
Yeah, and I stop using the putting you on speaker. From now on, I just use a hand mic, so it'll be a whole lot better.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sounds a lot better. And it's not just you.
To the chat, man. One love.
Appreciate it. Peace out, Ron.
All right.
All right, later. Yeah, and anybody who calls in, when you call in or if you get on, you jump in on appearing, it sounds much better when you use some earphones with a microphone attached to it rather than doing it on speakerphone, because when you do it on speakerphone, it can be a lot of interference, whatever it is. So if you can, please, use some headphones and everything. All right. I got Vivek up in here. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Say what's up to Tommy.
Hey, Sim. How are you doing?
Good.
Hey, Tommy.
Good.
How you been?
Hey, Viv. What's up, man?
What's going on? How are you doing?
Good.
So,
Viv is a great contributor to our latest venture, which is Patreon.com.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
I got your submission today. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah,
That's good.
So, look, the main topic, Durant. All I got to answer is a simple answer for me. If he wants to come here, I have no reason why he shouldn't be here. We have room for Durant. I'm 100%. I'm down. He'll fit like a sponge in this team. Fizdale loves wingspan. We got a 7'5" wingspan in Durant. Combine that with the rest of the other players, we'll have a fun group of people. So yeah, I have no hesitations, no qualms, no nothing. He may actually have slightly easier time out in the East. There's less resistance, potentially less, because he got injured a few times over the last couple of years. Maybe he won't have to deal with those injuries too much. However, at the same time, they didn't play him that many minutes also in Golden State, so that's also one thing to keep an eye out of. But I think the less resistance he has in the East, the better it is for his long-term health. And look, I think my main thing, overall, is that how often do you see this level of excitement about the Knicks going into August 1st? I've been going back and forth on Twitter with a lot of different people that are like writing stuff about the Knicks and whatnot. I've yet, it's amazing to see how much level of excitement there is just analyzing summer league, going down play by play, just that level of excitement, and even just like the smallest of details. Like if you imagine the whole Porzingis trip to the Fizdale trip to Latvia, for example, and just like all the smallest things, and it's just it almost is like a breath of fresh air in that sense. It's brought a lot of excitement to a lot of people. You can just clearly sense there's a difference, the way the front office moves, the way the front office handles things. You could say what you want about Steve Mills, but clearly he's had his paws on this team, whether you like it or not. With the front office hires and down forth, there's a lot to be excited about. Look, maybe those are the things from front office to coaching staff to players. This season, as I was kind of mentioning to Tommy in one of my pieces, I was saying how everyone kind of has this mantra of like betting on themselves, where it's like, everyone kind of has something to prove this year. Outside of some of the vets, like if you look at a lot of the players we have, whether it's, our like the former lottery picks we've signed, Vonleh, Hazonia, and even last year, Burke, Moutier, coming in by by a signing and trade. And then, the rookies, it seems like everyone has something to, prove. They have this little extra hunger that, just makes us very excited and really doesn't provide us with like a dull moment. There's a lot of, back and forth, just pondering, hey, what are we going to, what's this player going to do? How are they going to do this and that, etc. So, it's like this level of excitement. I feel like, you haven't seen in a long while. And, it's been the first time in almost 30 years, or I'd say, that we've kind of built this team from scratch for the most part. We haven't had a full true rebuild, in 30 years. So, hopefully all those factors combined, would bring a guy like Durant, to the table next year. And I think, he would have a lot of reasons to, be excited. And I don't see a reason why, we should hesitate to sign him.
And Simeon, we talked about the cap. This is having Porzingis. To Viv's point, like you've got the chance to have 3 superstars just by having him, and it could be him, right? So there is absolutely no rush to make. So when you see rumors about potentially trading for Jimmy Butler or trying to trade picks for, I will say this, and I know this to be true. If Danny Ainge is good at what he does, very good at what he does. Danny Ainge needs to get in front of this Kyrie situation. And if he doesn't, and I don't know who's gonna, I don't think Bill Simmons is. I don't think the Ringer is going to write about it. I don't think the Daily News is going to write about it. I don't think the Post is going to write about it. I don't think that ESPN is going to write about it because they're going to be covering LeBron in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jackie McMullen talks about it on The Jump or whatever. And she'd be smart if she did do that. But if you want to talk about hot takes, I'll give you a hot take. If Danny Ainge doesn't get in front of this Kyrie situation, here's what I know about Danny Ainge and that Kyrie situation. Danny Ainge was furious that Kyrie was not there in Game 7. Almost to the point where it was like, you disrespected Brett Auerbach, John Havlicek, Bill Russell, the ghosts of the parquet and I don't know if Kyrie feels as if Boston is gonna be his home and his future moving forward. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Rod Strickland is his godfather. We understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the additional information about Rod working with Kevin Durant and then Kevin Knox, for me, and Viv knows this, and Simeon, you know this based on what we wrote, that's where we are at this point. Danny Ainge needs to get in front of that Kyrie situation. And I don't know what that is. And I'm pretty damn sure the Knicks are not, and you can quote me on this. If the Knicks make a trade for Kyrie this year, based on what they know, what I know that they know, that would be a massive mistake unless they get future picks back from Boston. But Danny Ainge needs to get in front. Not saying that he needs to do it in terms of hey, let's make things fair and balanced. They've had a nice run for a bunch of years here. The Knicks need to sit tight.
Sit tight
is the goal in my opinion. But if you're Danny Ainge, you got to get in front of it.
Yeah,
I mean I think that's what Mills and Terry, they've been trying to say. We're not trying to go for the home run here. Clearly, if you try to get Kyrie right now, they're gonna probably ask for picks back.
But that relationship is fractured, semi-fractured.
Oh, I totally agree.
You mean the relationship with Boston
Danny
and
Ainge
Kyrie? Danny Ainge and Kyrie is fractured.
I guess the real
what
question,
happened
though,
for it to be
let me
fractured?
just preface it. Semi-fractured.
Semi-fractured.
So that old takes exposed, cold takes exposed, whatever, doesn't get after me on it. But there is work that needs to be done there to guarantee that he's going to be there moving forward and signing a long-term contract. And I just don't see that that's going to be the case. Wow. And again, him not being there Game 7 against LeBron, bad optics, and I'm not sure Danny's going to be able to get over that.
Wow. Okay. I got my man Tony Crow on the line. Hey, Viv. Yeah, Viv. 1 second, Viv. I got Tony Crow on the line. Tony, what's going on, man?
Yo, Blackest Time. Shout out to the chat.
What's popping with you, bro?
What's going on, Tommy?
Yo, what's going on, man?
What was I going to say? Oh, Kevin Durant. He's coming. I feel it. I think if Golden State does not win the championship, he opts out. And we might get him, next summer.
What if they win?
If they win, he got to go for 4. Just because.
For optics, because of the optics, you got. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. And I mean, if you win, then it kind of looks like, okay, you came here, and now you guys are winning all these championships, and now you leave.
Yeah, you gotta go for the clear cut best team ever. You know what I mean? Like, they win 4 in a row. They right up there with best team ever. I don't even know if you could argue against it. I mean, I haven't seen those old Boston teams. I wasn't alive, so I can't really. But at least in the modern era, you can't argue it.
Okay.
So that's my take on Durant coming. I'm wondering if by chance, if we go after Kyrie next summer, if we and Golden State does win, if we have enough money in 2020. Because if we have enough if that's the case, then that's the route I go. Especially if Golden State wins.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't think we really need to go after 2, if you will, max players. I think KP and development of the rest of our young guys and one guy in, especially if it's Durant, I think we're good enough.
So you think KP, Kevin Knox, them guys could eventually be your other stars,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the great debate last couple episodes saying KP might not even be the number 1 with Knox here, and just going off that theory, whether you believe one is the number 1 and one is the number 2, everybody thinks both these guys are stars, or stars in the making. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean,
I think it's not a rush.
Also super young, right?
Right, super young, and it could very well be that those 2 end up being your 1A and 1B, and then if you need to have 3, another one comes along somewhere, or you get another one in through free agency or something like that. That could very well be. That could very well be.
One more thing that I would be a little concerned with. I mean, it's down the line, but if we bring in 2 guys like a Kyrie and a Butler, or a Kyrie and a KD, how does that make KP feel? Does he want to play the 3rd fiddle or 4th fiddle if you think Knox is above him? You know what I mean? Like, so that's another thing.
You know what? I think
you got to think about.
Sometimes. I'm sorry to cut you off, Tony. Sometimes I think, that's overplayed a little bit. For some guys, you got guys who, they want to be the man, but guys like to play. I play basketball. You like to play with other people that can play basketball. right? Because it really does make your game easier, and it makes the game way more fun when you have other guys around you that can play. When you have people around you that can't play, sometimes it can be a miserable, boring. It can be a tough game because, like, you feel like you're doing everything and no one else is doing anything. And that can be a tough way to go. Guys that can play ball, they like to have other guys that can play basketball around them. And I think Golden State is, proving and showing that you can have, prime example. You can have 3, 4.
That's the
guys.
reason KD went there.
Yeah.
But I agree with you 100%. I believe KP will be willing to take a step back and if you will, let Knox be the number one option and focus on being defensive player of the year. Uh-huh. I believe that's the type of player KP is. I think he wants to win first. That's why I was trying to call back in last episode just to say Kevin Knox could end up being number one option and KP end up being defensive player of the year. And I don't even think that would be an issue.
And it could be.
Here's my thing on that one. Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't they both be good offensive players and good defensive players? Or one great offensive player and both great offensive players and defensive players? Like, why does it have to be one or the other? I don't get that. I never understood that.
And it could be that they just come out and play ball and the chips fall where they may.
They got 5. How about they got 7 great two-way players, and they become a really great team, and those are the two best players on the team. I've never understood. I do understand it, and I've fought it, with the networks and stuff, and everything's got to be A or B, right? Like I just that to me is I don't understand. So let's just take it. It doesn't have to necessarily be everything, but. Why can't Kevin Knox and Porzingis play great offense and together and great defense together? I don't understand that.
And I guess sometimes
I was trying to defend them because the chat was kind of getting on them last episode.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it comes down to how do I want to say it? Who is the guy that I know just from my experience playing basketball, it starts to come down to when it really gets into that clutch. Who is the guy that you want with the ball?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And who is the guy that you're going to trust with the ball?
But that answer, and that answer comes from the defense and who makes the ball find you in your hands. Like where does the ball find itself?
Where does the ball find itself?
Reaction.
And what my argument was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, what my argument was, and the chat was blitzing me, Tommy. They were killing me. But my argument is and I don't know what's going to turn out to be. But my argument was that from what I seen, what Kevin Knox can do, he could very well turn into that guy because he can get the ball, he can go full court, coast to coast, something that I have yet to see Porzingis do. Now, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to do that. But I have yet to see him be able to do that. He can go coast to coast. But it goes back to your point on when the game gets tight. That's half court. So when the defense forces the ball into your hands, if you can't shoot, that's why I always used to give Shumpert, stuff and Felton, and Jeremy Lin and those guys. And this goes back a ways when actually they played, relatively, reasonably important games. That's why JR was important because JR could catch the ball. Ball wouldn't be in his hands. He'd be like, oh, okay, good. That's good. Like catch and shoot it. That ability is what you need, to your point, when the game gets tight. Obviously, there are long ways from that. We've got a long time before that's even a thing. But I guess my thing is, that Porzingis can catch and shoot at 7'3" with a 8'5" release point. And we were talking about this today in camp. Like people can say there's a lot of unstoppable things in basketball, right? Things that, maybe you're the 0.1% that you're great at. Oh, you got a great crossover. Oh, you have great bounce. Or, oh, you've got, great ability to find the open man and get layups. The number one
without question, without even a debate, is release point on the jumper. That's unguardable.
Yeah.
It's 100% out of 100. You're gonna get, if you have the right, and Porzingis has it, and Knox has it.
Yeah,
so if
absolutely.
they can play defense, then either one, and as long as the ball finds them, you know that's going to be a good shot, and they're going to get it off.
Yeah.
And that's
so it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting. But at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with them having a little bit of internal competition, as long as it's friendly competition. Like, okay, you got 10 rebounds, I'm getting 12 next game. You got 20, I'm getting 24 next game. As long as it all comes together and they're still working together, for the same purpose. I mean, they were killing me in the chat because I said, hey, I think Kevin Knox right now has a bigger repertoire, with the things that he can do. Whose Mark was going crazy
versus Porzingis?
Yeah. I just think he has a bigger repertoire of things he could do. Whose Mark? If I was in the house with whose Mark, he would have hit me. But the thing is, the chat, they think that I do not like Porzingis when I love KP. I mean, it's just
listen, he can get a shot. He can get a very good shot every single possession on the floor.
Yeah,
that's a fact. Yeah. At 7'3", he can shoot from 30 feet with high, relatively high percentage. And he's got some slow dude guarding him, or a shorter, smaller guy. Like maybe Mo Bamba becomes a factor against him, but Mo Bamba's in Dallas, I believe, right? So, you're not going to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And listen, maybe that's not the future of the league. Maybe, maybe Embiid is the guy that'll beat him up and take him off the floor and get him in foul trouble, which could be possible. Even though everybody says that the low post game is dead.
Yeah. I never think that the low post game is going to go away.
No, never.
Never. I think you're always going to need to have a low. The game is going to, probably stay fast and stay perimeter based, but at some point you're going to need to be able to do something in the post. It may not be what you base your offense off of, but you're going to need it. And look, in the chat now, they're still telling me, they're telling me I'm a hater, this and that, and this and that. I could take it though. I'm like Melo. I could take the bullets. Melo could take. He took the bullets in New York. I could take the bullets, man. Isaiah, I'm gonna open you up, Isaiah. I know you want to say something. Yeah, I'm gonna let Mark cool down for a second, even though he's not mad. We can't see his video being mad, but I know he's already steaming. He wants to go in here and go off about KP. You know what I mean? Hey, I love KP. I love both of them. I'm just, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Isaiah, man, what's up, man? What's popping?
What's up, chat? Black is time. What's up, Sam? What's up, Tommy D? You look like my favorite. You look like my favorite history teacher back in high school, bro. You look like my. He was always on me, but he's my favorite teacher. But you look like
respect. Thank you.
But Sam, let me tell you something real quick.
You know what they say about? Hey, listen. You know what they say about history.
What happened?
You know what they say about history.
What's that? I don't know.
Oh, what is that? Always repeat yourself.
What they say about
always repeat yourself. Yeah, okay.
You'd be doomed to repeat it. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Nah, you're right. But yo, Sim.
Yeah.
Sim. Listen, I love you, man. I love you, man. I'll call these and say I love you.
Here they go. I know.
But listen.
Okay.
But listen,
Here
Sim.
we go.
But listen, Sim. You you about to go in on somebody when they say I love you first. Look, Sim. I agree with you about 95% of the time. I really do, because we got the same mindset, and you a common sense Knicks fan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a common sense, but let me say, listen, man, and this is my perspective.
That's
and I'm
cool.
an honest person.
That's
from the way you talk about KP, it's the way you talk about him. It seems like you don't like him.
What do I say? But wait a minute. Hold up.
I'm saying in the sense of the way of, I know you probably do like him, but the way you say it.
Okay.
And I know, and there's nothing wrong with criticizing him, because there is stuff he has to work on. I'm I'm the first to tell you he needs to work on his rebounding and his defense can be better. But it's just the way sometimes you say it and make it seem like you don't like him.
But look, my daughter, I coach my daughter. I tell her every day, you getting pushed around on the floor. You better build your upper body strength because you're getting thrown all over the place, right? Your handle, you don't pound the ball. You dribble it too light. That's why you keep losing the ball, right?
Is she playing against people girls her age?
Yep, her age, maybe a little bit older sometimes a little bit older, right? Mm-hmm. I tell her her flaws so that we can put a plan in place. Of course, we put a plan in place so that we can work on those things, right? So I just say some things that I see about KP. I don't hate him. As a matter of fact, this is what my coach. This is what my coaches always told me, and this is what I tell my players. When I stop giving you constructive criticism, that's when the problem is. That's when I'm done with you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No, Sim, that's true. And like I said, I'm saying there's nothing wrong critiquing KP because, like I said, KP, like you said, he still got to work. He still got to get stronger because he do get pushed around in the post. He really got to work on his rebounding because you shouldn't be 7'3" with only 6 rebounds.
Hold on, don't talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, be quiet, Mark.
But look. All I'm it's Sim. It's just the way you say it that make it seem like you don't like him. That's what I get from it sometimes. I don't know how else. Okay.
Wrong. So how else should I say it?
Well, here's the question in my mind anyway. Does KP move that needle? Like, is he that guy, or does he move the needle to the point and then he gets hurt? So what we've seen, right, is he's the latter. You know,
right. And
he was on the verge. He was an all-star, as we talked about in the last show. We know this. You know, I sort of kind of forgot, but he was that good in the first 2.5 months of the season. And then as he was getting ready to push it forward, he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that, see, to me, everybody cares about contracts. Everybody cares about when you were drafted, in my opinion, a lot of different factors. But what they never care about is actual production. That to me is, if you play games, if you actually play minutes, you have value and you should be paid money. If you don't play minutes and you're hurt, then there's a question mark there, right? Just like any job, right? Does KP move the needle to the point where you can say, yes, he's the franchise guy? At this point, that's a serious question. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that.
Tommy, that's the same exact thing. That's what I say. That's what I say. I say, I'm not sure yet. I need to see more. I don't know if he is that franchise guy yet.
I don't know if the answer is yes. So
I'll say this, Tommy, though, about the franchise, about KP. And this is my opinion.
You got to pay him franchise money. There's no other way around it.
I agree. Either way you do.
My opinion on the KP franchise thing is that I believe. Listen, I've been a Knicks fan my whole life. I'm 24 years old. I've been a Knicks fan my whole life. I've honestly, I tell people, for 23 of the years, I've seen the Knicks be bad. The 1 year was 2012 when they were good. That's the only time I've seen them good, not mediocre the other 2 years, good. When I see KP, man, I get a different feeling from him because he checks off a lot of boxes that we haven't had since Patrick Ewing, and I feel like you can agree with that. He's a two-way player. He's exciting. He puts fans, even though it's Madison Square, they're gonna put fans in the stands anyway. He puts people are rocking his jersey. He was like,
here's the difference. In my opinion, here's the difference. And I like it. And you're right. He does put people in the seats. Ewing put people in the seats because he always put them in the seats when he was at Georgetown. Mm-hmm. And when he came in, he was at 22, and he played a lot of big, big games against a lot of great players in college. And that college game was very similar to the NBA game back then. So you sort of knew what you were getting. The Knicks or no, the New York media hyped it up where, oh, he's the next Bill Russell. And if you ever read anything that Bill Simmons ever wrote, Bill Simmons hated Patrick Ewing because there's only one Bill Russell, and he makes the shot against the Celtics in the 1990 playoff series, and that's why Simmons always hated him. But I digress on that one. Ewing was a once in a lifetime franchise player, like a quarterback in football, right? KP could certainly be that player, and he was definitely on the path, and that's why they really made sure, and I can tell you this as 100% fact, that's why they definitely made sure that they parted ways, and you saw the wording, parted ways with Phil Jackson and traded Melo, because they wanted to see what KP could do on his own. And they're
Which they should have did the year before with the second year. Second year he should have been the man.
Well, no, that's this was his. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. But Melo was untradeable, and Phil, tried to figure that stuff out. But I think we're talking about the same year there. But now this past year, you saw what, let's see what he could do, and he gets hurt. So that's a major question mark on the verge of a franchise contract. And we'll see. I think both sides understand clearly that he needs to come back 100% healthy, 100% healthy on the lower body with the legs, and the upper body. I'm much less concerned about his Instagram with his six pack and flexing the muscles in the upper body as much as I am making sure that his lower body is supported.
Oh, that's the most important. And I think what's gonna also help too. And I feel like this was another thing that really, I'm not gonna say caused the injury, because the injury was a freak injury with Giannis.
Exactly.
It was more of the sense, I think, with the youth that we got. That was a big play too. He did dunk on him, but
it's a great play. It's a great play.
Yeah, but I think what's gonna happen now is that hopefully Tim is playing good, Knox is playing good, and we have more hope for KP, where he need at the end of the day, because I think this has been one of the greatest things that's never happened to the Knicks. The Knicks in their history, besides the 70s, never had a second star. Patrick Ewing never had a Bernard King. He literally missed Bernard King by a few years and a couple injuries.
Him and Mark Jackson had it going for a little while there.
You know what's crazy?
They were
You know what's crazy? Tommy, is the fact that I wasn't born back then, but I read a lot of history about the Knicks, and I feel like if we would have kept Mark Jackson, I think we would have won a championship in '94. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if we would have kept Mark, and I know I read a lot of things about how he wasn't playing good around that time. They were really becoming good, but I do believe if they would have kept Mark Jackson.
Read Pat Riley's book, The Winner Within.
He revitalized his career after he left us, so you're probably right.
Read Pat Riley's book, The Winner Within. It tells you about that whole time period.
Thing. Okay.
And Riley goes to Miami. So if you read that book, you're not going to remember, I don't believe, what I'm saying now, but what I'm saying, and maybe you would, hope you do. Riley was the Michael Jordan of executives, or the LeBron James of executives, or whatever. There's a reason why LeBron ended up in Miami, let's face it. Pat Riley was a special, special guy. If you read The Winner Within, you can find it on Amazon and put it in your ears, or read it on anywhere you want to read it. It explains to you his Kentucky experience, because he played there, his learning experience. He's from New York, although upstate, and coming to New York and then transforming sort of what happened there and leaving there, and it's with obviously starting with the Lakers, and it tells you a lot about Magic Johnson and his relationship with Magic. But to your point, the reason why I bring that up is Mark Jackson would never won a championship because Pat Riley was here. They just for whatever reason didn't see eye to eye, mainly because
I can see it.
Mark didn't play defense. And what Pat wanted to do was create the antithesis of Showtime Lakers. And but Pat got them to the point where they should have won. Obviously, they ran into Michael Jordan. I don't think Mark Jackson would have taken them over the top against Michael Jordan. But and the triangle, and that really was at the end of the day. Besides Michael, which there's no besides, it was Michael, but that.
Yeah, let's not give the triangle that much credit.
No.
We give it credit, but we never seen it work without great players. I'm just saying that's the one thing.
You're telling me that Michael Jordan won championships despite the triangle?
No, I mean
he never won.
You're telling me that. The Warriors run it a bunch. I can't stand the Bulls, and I can't. As a Knicks fan, I just don't. I had to watch it over and over, and I watch it in the playoffs all the time, and nobody reports on it, and I don't think people really actually know what it is.
The Spurs run it too.
Everybody runs it.
Yo, where's Tony at? Where's Tony?
Everybody runs it.
He's on the phone.
I'm on the phone.
Oh, yeah. But
don't hate on the triangle. Right. Don't hate on the triangle, man. It's not.
Tommy. But you know what's crazy, Tommy? I was actually excited for the triangle because I was excited about the ball movement and finally making Mel. Listen, man. When we got Phil Jackson, it was I got the feeling. I thought I had the feeling of when we got Steven Scott in the GM office. I literally thought we were going to have, for once in our lives, common sense. In the last 20 years, we were going to have common sense in the GM office. I literally thought that. And when he brought the triangle, I was 100% with it because I'm thinking, look what it did for Kobe. Look what it did for dominant scoring players. And look how it evolved their game. I was excited for Carmelo. And I heard he was talking to Kobe. He was talking to Michael about it. And listen, I was 100% with it, but and when it was literally the players we didn't have, and it was just a whole lot of different factors. And
Isaiah, if you look at
work when it should have worked.
Oh, that's right. For sure.
And if you look at the players that we have right now, and the players that we are collecting, and the type of basketball, positionless basketball,
they can run the triangle. They can run it.
Fizdale saying he wants to play. That's exactly what, in my opinion, what Phil Jackson was trying to bring to the Knicks. That's what he wanted to bring. Everything got encapsulated with the triangle, but it was really the style and system of play where you could step on the floor and everyone was a threat from every position on the floor and people could do multiple things. That was really what it was about. Everything else got in the way, but that's what it was about.
Can I say one more thing, Sim?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna move on.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna say that I believe Phil Jackson was definitely needed for us to be the blueprint of what we are going to be now and what we're going to be later. For what he did for all the bad he did, I will say it was about 45% bad and 55% the blueprint of what's going to be. That's going to be what's going to be now and the future. He definitely left. A lot of people not going to like that, but he's definitely left. I believe we're going to win a championship in the next, hopefully, next 10 years. I got a feeling the next 10 years, I think the Knicks can definitely be in the finals. And whenever that happens, Phil Jackson will be part of the reason why we won.
I agree. I agree.
He'd love to hear that. He would definitely love to.
Right.
And this to let you know, I know we got completely off subject, but let me say, KD will come to the Knicks just because it will change the whole narrative about him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that. It's gonna change the whole narrative about him.
That's a good call right there, man.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff. I listen, and that's, to me, what we talked about earlier is the battle, which you don't see in the media and you're not going to hear a lot, but KD and LeBron do have this thing. And, if that means, LeBron, something happens next year where LeBron brings in Paul George, where he's obviously signed a couple of years, but who's going to be the guy that jumps over there? It could be Kyrie. Who knows?
Tommy, you know one thing though. No disrespect to Boston, no disrespect to Lakers.
I hope I know.
If you win a title in New York, that's it. Then they're literally naming a street after you. You're absolutely God in New York.
Well, we'll see, Isaiah. I'm
I agree with
you
that.
for a
I do
second.
agree with that. I do agree with that. As long.
Yeah. So I want to. I think Tommy froze up a little bit, but what I want to do, and hopefully we'll get Tommy back. There we go. We got Tommy back. I want to play this clip from Dante Jones, and I think most of you guys have probably heard this clip. I'm gonna play this clip, and tell me what you think about New York being the hot spot in 2019. This is Dante Jones on The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I think New York is going to be the new hotspot next year.
Oh, really?
Because they have a great coach. The organization is moving in the right direction. I think their culture, that city, and what it could be is what's going. And you have Porzingis there. Like you have the kid Knox.
Yeah,
like,
that kid's good.
You have a flexible roster. I think what brought LeBron to LA was ultimately the city, the lifestyle, and the flexibility of the roster of what it could be rather than what it is. A lot of rosters are stuck in what they are right now, and they don't have that much flexibility. But you look at a New York Knicks roster and the cap space that they could have, and you could play with who you want to play with. Like, if he looks at a landscape next year and he's like, okay, Kyrie's there, Porzingis could be there, the kid Knox is good, and we could do it our own way. And I could be in New York City, and I could live the way I want to. I've already dominated here. I already have these businesses set up in Silicon Valley. They'll follow me to New York. We could set something else differently. I think that's going to be the new hotspot. I think guys are going to be looking at that very seriously next year. I think New York is going to be the new hotspot next year.
Tommy, I don't know. Did you hear the clip?
I did.
Okay, so what do you think about that?
It's a conversation and a thought, and I hate using narrative over and over because I feel like it's boring and tired now. But it's a common theme that's coming out of Vegas. The Vegas summit was a big deal. Everybody looks at Knox and the idea, and you hate to hear people losing their jobs at the tabloids in the city in New York, specifically cover the Knicks. But there's a strategy going on now, right? Mm-hmm. That didn't happen. That was not there 2 years ago. And it's working, I feel, in a way that is obviously being received. And how can I feel any different? When I was talking about the triangle and all the stuff that people were trying to be optimistic about around that with Phil a bunch of years ago, that was to see, with Melo and can it work? And, finally the buy-in wasn't there and that needed to be separated. And, when you can understand, a franchise player and a franchise separating is not an easy concept. So now that there's a full breakup, and now that there's cap space and young players, and Phil Jackson didn't trade any picks, and I think that's what the caller was saying before about Phil's legacy is not only just his bad relationship with Melo, but it's also Porzingis and not giving up any picks to maintain flexibility moving forward, which was not Donnie Walsh's legacy, and it wasn't Isaiah's legacy, and now it's in great hands of really smart people who have a great vision and plan, and that's what you're hearing there from guys like Dante Jones, and that's what you're hearing from Jalen Rose of all people, and that
right.
And I say of all people because Jalen hated the Knicks, he hated D'Antoni, he hated Dolan. You know, he was Bill Simmons' guy. Bill Simmons hates the Knicks. You know, he's not a Knicks fan. I don't want to say hate, but you know, they're not fans. So to see the media coming around to this new sort of positive, optimistic narrative is great, because I can tell you, because I wrote it a couple days ago, Kevin Durant feels that way. And, you know, that's a huge step forward. You know, to me, that's a really big step forward at a point where Carmelo, and I caught a lot of shit for this, and I don't mind saying shit because I did catch a lot of shit. And I don't like cursing in open forums.
Yeah,
I'm just being in my TV days, but whatever, like, or radio day. Like, the Knicks felt confident that they were going to have a chance to talk to Durant. Not that they were going to sign him, but just have a chance to talk to him to get some information, right? Instead of talking to Phil and Steve Mills, they talked to Melo, which was not, and that was sort of the beginning of the end, because Melo wasn't giving them the information that they wanted. The free agent period is all about great information, and post free agency is, you know, all the workouts, and you know, that's all the time to just get really good information.
Yeah. And
what we've seen here, in my opinion, over the last couple of weeks, and not only in my opinion, but the truth, is a common denominator who has worked out with both Kevin Durant and Kevin Knox, and I'm sure passing along, I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, the best, or, you know, hey, this is what's going to happen, but just information, and the Knicks are doing their diligence, and that's a really big deal, and that's why good optimistic stuff and thoughts coming from a superstar is good news for them.
Yeah. That is good news, and I know I want to get to who's Mark hasn't spoken in a while. I know he calmed down. So, Mark, what do you think? You think the Knicks going to be the hot spot in 2019? You think New York is the new hot spot?
All right. Thanks to the Golden Goose KP is one of the reasons why. But let me say one thing.
You're right. He's one of the reasons why, for sure.
Let me say one thing. Why? There's only... Because I just don't see Kevin Durant leaving Stephen Curry. And his main priority right now is to make sure LeBron get no more gold. To make sure he gets no more gold. He don't want LeBron to get another ring. These players are tired of the LeBron name ringing around the league right now for being one of the best players in the league, and that's all they talk about. Like my TV is just LeBron. And a lot of these players, especially KD and them boys, don't like that, because here you got one of the best players losing, but still considers the best player, when you have KD knocking down clutch shots in big moments, basically taking the ring of the league. Like I said, when KD, I always said this, when LeBron touched one gold, he was going to take off. This is KD time now. This is KD stretch right now. And I feel the only way KD leave if Stephen Curry break his ankle and he can't play no more, because.
But do you think New York is going to be a hot spot though?
Well, before we get to New York, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we get to New York, what moves can the Lakers make to get past Golden State this year?
Okay, none. Because I'm gonna tell you why.
So he's going to get the gold again this year.
They're gonna get the gold again because
so that gives him 3-3, right?
3-3. He's gonna want more. Want more than LeBron. That's what. It's like this. He made that move to Golden State before LeBron was ever to make a move similar to something like that. Because I felt like if there was a better opening for LeBron to do something drastic, he was going to do it. So KD basically took LeBron's blueprint and just took it.
But it's not. But it's also not 3. I don't mean to cut it. It's not 3-3. It's 3-0 versus 3-4, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No. It's 3. It's 3. It will be 3-1. Kevin Durant lost one in the final.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3-1.
He lost one.
Right.
He lost
Kevin
one.
Durant's main priority is to
3-1 versus 3-4.
Kevin Durant's main priority is to get more rings than LeBron, to make sure he just get X'd out, basically X'd out. Because when you watch Kevin Durant in the playoffs, he goes at LeBron like, this is my time. This is my stretch. That's why he went to Golden State, because he said, okay, what other team would I go to knowing I would have that immediate chance to take over the league? Because look how he shut down when he was in the media. Look how he shut down that reporter when they asked him about him winning MVP. If you look on the podium, he never thought he was supposed to win MVP. If you looked at his reaction, he was surprised that he won MVP. Kevin Durant necessarily because the league wanted to be Kevin Durant league after LeBron. If y'all not watching how the NBA does this, they want Kevin Durant the face of the league after LeBron tears up, because KD is the part of the face of the NBA, and he's
I'm not sure about that, but here's what I'm sure of.
Yeah,
I think they want to have the conversation of LeBron and Michael go on and on and on and on and on.
You don't want to hear that crap.
But no, I think they wanted to go on and on and on and on and on. That's okay. And here's my thing. KD has been the best player in the finals
the last 2 years.
2 years in a row. Michael was, and this is, I'm getting sucked into this Michael Jordan, Michael LeBron stuff. Michael was never not the best player on the floor in any game, any playoff game that he ever played, and let alone series. Mm-hmm. Like, it was never about, I want to be unselfish, and I got to get everybody involved because I don't have enough players.
35 is first, 32.
KD was the best player in the last two finals. He was better than LeBron, and you can't say you're the best player in the world when you lose the finals and you're not the best player in the world.
Tommy Dee, this is why I've been hating LeBron since 2007. Since 2007, I've been hating LeBron since 2007, and it continues because these fans. I can't understand if you're the best. This is why you can't put him where Mike is, because when Mike time came, he dominated every single superstar in his time.
Was never not the best player on the floor ever.
He dominated them without a question. LeBron
both sides of the court.
LeBron lost to Kawhi Leonard, and he wasn't even a superstar yet.
He should have lost him. Should have lost him twice.
Yep.
You know
when Kawhi wasn't even Kawhi.
Tommy D, you know what I said? He was so lucky that he won that OKC because, number one, they was fresh. They wasn't ready. And the thing was,
more lucky than winning, and I don't even think it was more lucky than winning the first.
Oh yeah, the Spurs, the
second.
Spurs?
What was it? The second Spurs series? First?
No, it was the first one because the Spurs came back and annihilated them.
Bosh made the great play. And Allen hit the huge shot.
Yep. So, Mark, with all that being said, do you think New York? Do you think New York will be a hot spot for all those things Dante Jones said? Do you think New York will be a hot spot?
As long as the Garden's standing, man.
Because number one, we got Fizdale, and these players want a coach that's going to coach. Like, these great players like LeBron and KD. They like to be coached. With those two players, they want to feel wanted. If you just see their personality, they want to be wanted in a way where they feel important to the whole organization. That's what LeBron always talks about. That's what KD talks about every time. Go listen to any podcast he did, especially with Bill Simmons. He wants to go to anywhere. If he leaves Golden State, he wants to go somewhere where he is so important to that organization, where he's so important to that organization, where he feel love. Kevin Durant want to feel love.
Okay.
Him and LeBron share that thing where they want to be loved. It's like an insecurity, but they want to feel love. But with Kevin Durant right now, like I said he has 2 more. I give him 2 more years with Golden State because, listen, Kevin Durant touches 30. They're all in their prime.
That's what I could see. I could see Durant. I could see Durant winning another one and Kawhi going to Golden State.
No, but people got to understand something too.
Everybody's talking about Kawhi going to LA. I could see. I could see Durant.
I could see
Kawhi
that
being like, "Yep, I'm taking his spot there."
Yeah,
Sid,
I could definitely see that. What'd you say?
You You know what's so crazy, Sim? People got to understand something. There's a chance that Kawhi could go to the Clippers. Why? Kawhi don't like that attention that the stars get. He doesn't like that. And him going to the Clippers, because if he went to LA, he would be up. I mean,
if he goes to LA, the spotlight is going to be on him. You know that. If he's in LA with LeBron, the spotlight is big.
Yeah, he wouldn't like it. Clippers, because they are the Clippers and they're playing behind the Lakers, no one's going to be really talking about Kawhi like that. So, but I feel, go ahead.
No, they can't hear him. They can't hear him. They can hear you.
I'm gonna tell you what he said. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this about Kawhi.
Go ahead. They can hear him now.
Think, at the end of the day with Kawhi and the Clippers, I'm gonna say this. You do know the main reason why he's trying to he wants money.
No, he don't want money.
Bro, yes he do. He want money, bro.
No.
Why you think, bro? Jordan.
The Spurs hinders players like him of his stature's career. That's why Tim Duncan was special to San Antonio, because he felt right in suit.
Bro, but the camp around Kawhi though, they want this. Bro, I don't think it's hard to explain. I don't think he's going to the Clippers.
Like I said, Jerry West is at that helm, and I don't. Like I said, Jerry West got KD to go to Golden State. He's someone you don't sleep on. He's someone you just don't sleep on.
Hey, Tommy, Tommy, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I just want to talk to you. You know what I think is going to happen one day?
I feel like with Kyrie
Hold up, Mark.
You have to get Kyrie first to get KD in the door. Sim.
Okay. Oh, say that again?
I feel like we have to get Kyrie first to get KD in the door, because he wants to play with a point guard. He needs that point guard play. He needs it. He needs a point guard that will allow him to be Kevin Durant on the floor.
I can see that. I can see that.
Look how he plays with Steph. The ball just finds him I never seen Kevin Durant take so many open shots in his career in my life.
I mean, I can see him wanting to play with a point guard. I don't know if that stops him right away. I don't know if it just stops him, says, well, I'm not going to go because they don't have Kyrie Irving. If Frank Ntilikina shows that he can do some things.
Let me ask you a question, Sim.
You know what I'm saying?
You think he went to Golden State not to play? Supposedly Curry wasn't on that team. You think he would go to Golden State to just play with Clay and Draymond?
I don't know who the other guard is. I don't know. If they still had the same kind of system, he went there because they're playing it. They're playing that type of system.
That system is only created by one player and one player only.
Hold up, Mark. They play in a system, that is everybody eats, right? Everybody shares the ball.
Everybody eats, but when you watch the difference,
they play in a system where everybody eats, right? So, where people share the basketball, move the basketball. If there was somebody else that was in that position and not Steph Curry, then if he liked their style of play, then he may have won anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
what would you put into that system besides Steph Curry and what it creates for everyone?
I'm not saying. What I'm saying is it doesn't have to be just this guy. I'm just saying if they play that type of system and that's what he wanted to be a part of. Of course, Steph Curry was, part of the reason.
Yeah, he wants to play with a point. Listen, why would he leave Russell Westbrook? Right, one of the top 5 point guards. Just think about it. Just think about it. He's not
a point guard.
He's not a point guard, but he is what he is.
I think the big reason, based off of what a lot of people were talking about around the league, was the uncertainty of what Westbrook wanted to do, right? So, it's a very similar situation as to why Kyrie left LeBron.
Yeah, that was the main reason, because he didn't want to get left in the water.
And uncertainty. It wasn't necessarily about style play or play. And KD, let's be fair, OKC should have beat Golden State that year.
They should have, they could have, but they didn't because those two boys shot him out the game.
No, KD choked in Game 3 and didn't play. All right, maybe choke is the wrong phrase. But they had a chance. and played great in that game.
Yeah.
And I think everybody knows that. I think more was it game 5? Maybe
it was game 6 and 7. It was game 6 and 7 when he choked. Those two games.
So game 6?
Yeah, game 6 he choked.
One of the pivotal games, right? So game 6, and 6 was the one. It was at home, and then they had to go back to Golden State, right? And that, I think, was a moment where he said, maybe I'm not the guy who can win the whole thing. They should have won that series for sure.
Do you feel like a big part of that is letting James Harden go? Because I heard that they didn't really do what it takes for them to win, the organization for OKC to win, to get the right players to play with them.
No, I don't think that was ever going to work with Scott Brooks. I don't think it was ever going to work
that offense was
with
horrible.
Presti. I don't think they weren't into space back then. And space doesn't win, right? We've seen that. Yeah. So I think the bigger problem with that situation was they didn't get enough in return for Harden. But when you draft a guy that high, you're not going to get the right return. Like that's great. That's great precedent. I know it's pre-CBA. But it's great precedent for Porzingis. That's why it's almost like they've got to sign Porzingis.
But you know what, Tommy? I'm sorry. You can go, Mark. You go, Mark.
No. Hold up, Isaiah. I got Mark muted because I want to get to this caller. So I was gonna let you finish saying what you're gonna say so I can get to this caller.
I'm sorry. So I was gonna say real quick. So my thing, though, Tommy, though, and this is probably one of the biggest what ifs. I don't think James Harden becomes James Harden if he doesn't leave OKC. I don't think they work. That's my opinion. I don't think they work because they are three literally KD, they're two ball dominant players that need the ball. Without Chris Paul, it takes a player like Chris Paul level to get the ball out of James Harden's hand. I don't believe they would have worked at OKC. Not to the full potential that they would have because I don't care what you tell me, they all don't win MVP on OKC. They all don't win it. They all don't win MVP.
That's a fact, and that's where KD I felt the pressure and said, you know what, let me go to Golden State, and that's what CJ McCollum was saying the other day, which I think the players are thinking,
Yeah.
And can KD, is that the guy that you're, if he wins another one, like, so what? How many rings does it take? How much gold? But how much gold does it take to get that insecurity away from him to where you feel comfortable that he's the guy to lead Porzingis, to lead, Kevin Knox, to be that guy that you want to bring in, like.
Right. Let me get to this caller, and we've kind of moved on to NBA updates a little bit. We've talked about, and Viv, I'm going to get to you after this caller. I know you want to get in. So, caller, you're live on Nothing But Knicks. What's going on with you? Can you hear me? Oh, what's going on, man? The original Dundada is here. What's poppin' with you, bro?
Oh, man. Good night to the chat. Hey, Tommy, good night, man. Everybody, good night. Knicks fans, man. Hey, I tell you something, man. I've been listening all night, And if it's one thing with me, Sim, I'll tell you something. You ask me a question, man, I'll tell you no lie. Hey, that's the whole thing, okay? As Knicks fan, I love you all. I appreciate, being fanatics, man. But look here, we got to slow down. We have been sometimes a little bit too rushy in certain things, with this player is coming here, this player is coming here, and we're just fantasizing. We got to slow down. Because these guys we have coming up, they are good. We have to just develop these guys before we think about bringing in other guys. If you bring in Kyrie, then Frank sits. What's up with that? You're going to hurt someone's value. If you try to bring in too many people at one time. We have to let these people or these guys work for a year. And trust me, everything will just settle out. After a year, we'll know about Frank. We'll know what he's capable of. We'll know about Knox, what he's capable of. We'll know about Mitchell and Porzingis. If we let things shake out, and Herzonia, if we make things shake out the way it's supposed to shake out, half of these guys that we're thinking about bringing here, we don't have to bring them here, because these guys will be the top-notch guys. These guys, and plus in 2 years, Anthony Davis will be available. Who's to say that we can't bring Anthony Davis instead of KD here? We've got to calm down, but we've got to slow our roll a little bit. Next past years, that's how we did. We always got so in love with players outside. Who can we bring in? We have to stop it right now. And thank God that Perry and Mills, that they're on top, because they know that they have to calm down. They can't push forward, because if you go for certain players that are injury prone, although we love them, but when they get here, they can't play. What the heck is that all about? So we got to slow down. That's my number one thing. Number two, Sim, I love you, man. And look, I don't think that you have anything bad to really say about KP. I believe the same thing that you believe. Because KP is a good guy. I don't know if he'll be the franchise. I don't know if he'll be the face of the Knicks in future years. I'm thinking more like Knox. But if that is the case, KP has to understand that he has now developed his bottom half. I saw whereby people were playing him, and every time he went up, he fell down. It's like they were pushing him aside. If he does not develop properly, he is going to be pushed aside a lot more. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, I do agree with you, Sim. And some people, they hate what you say about KP. But if you love the guy, and that's how I know you love the guy, because you say things the way it is supposed to be said, and you say the truth. You are saying the truth, and I believe it. I see it for myself.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thanks. Thank you for supporting me, and hopefully the chat heard what you had to say. You know what I'm saying? I love the guy. That's the reason why I am tough on him, because I want to see him be great. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him be great. And if I was his coach, I'd probably be even tougher. Or if I was his trainer, I want to see him be great. And with some guys,
Of course. And I do appreciate that, man. But, some people get the feeling, sir, because they're so in love with a player, that anything you say, basically, against that player, it's going to hurt. And it's just human. It's just being human.
Right.
But as a coach, you know that as a coach, you have to inspire these guys by fear sometimes different ways. You have to inspire them. But as a coach, you understand you have to be down the middle. You have to call it for what it is.
Right.
And it is what it is. He is weak at the bottom. He has to firm himself up a little bit more down there. And I see what he's doing in his gym, because he's been exercising, and he even understands that that's his weakness. He knows it.
And look, and there's nothing wrong with having a weakness that you're developing and working on. There's nothing wrong with it, right? You have a weakness. You realize it. You have trainers that realize it and help you develop in that area while you continue to strengthen your strengths or improve on your strengths. Then you develop your weaknesses so that they become strengths.
Definitely.
That's what you do.
That's how I know that he's going to be a great player, because you know what? There are players outside there that they just continue doing what they know how to do best. But you know what he's doing? He's working on it. And that's how I know he's going to be a great player, because he's working on it.
He
knows his weakness, and he's working on it.
Yep. That's what it is. He's working on it. And I like the things that they're doing, when they're talking about, working on his, his mechanics and biomechanics so that it doesn't happen again. I love that. I love that.
I love that. And I just have one more thing, Sim.
All right.
I'm just so tired of people comparing LBJ to MJ. Look, man, I lived in those days when Michael Jordan was making noise, okay? And I've seen Michael Jordan play against the Knicks. In those days, the Knicks were not a pushover team. If you came in the Madison Square Garden, those balls would bowl you over if you're not firm. They were strong. The Knicks team was strong. Jordan went up against all these guys, okay? All these guys he went up against in those days. A foul, ticky-tack foul right now? Oh, no. In those days, you could bounce man real good, and the refs would not see a damn thing, okay? Now LeBron James now playing in this era where everything's a ticky-tack foul. In those days, Michael Jordan, he was going up against, people who would really kick his butt, okay? Now, the other thing about this right now is that Michael Jordan, he didn't have to go to another team to ally himself with a superstar. The only two real superstars who played Michael Jordan was the Worm and Pippen. Those two guys with him. Everyone else, they were B players, basically B players. When you see LeBron James, he understood when he was playing for the Cavaliers that he would never win a championship because he could not carry a team like that. That is why he left Cleveland. He went with another superstar. He now knew and understood the only way for him to get a ring was to ally himself, and that's where it started. Now, you want to compare LeBron James, who has been playing with Class A stars allied around him, against a Michael Jordan, who mainly had Class B players around him. Come on, give me a break. Most of the people who say that LeBron James is as good, they weren't born in the era where we saw Michael Jordan going up against these Bulls, okay? So whoever is saying all this nonsense, let them take a look. Let them take a real good look. As much as I hated Jordan because he smashed my Knicks so many times, as much as I hated that man, I have mutual respect for him right now. Yeah. Because that man came out and that man balled. He balled. It was only him alone. He inspired the team. He balled. So you know what? I have a lot of respect for LeBron James. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for him. But stop this nonsense. Stop this conversation about comparing LeBron James with Michael Jordan. There is no comparison. None.
Hey, Sim. You can't get that on Twitter, man. That is the truth. And I didn't say one word throughout that whole unbelievably truthful and amazing rant. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's
absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
your listeners are tremendous, man.
They are. They're knowledgeable. So great. I mean, when we talk about knowledgeable basketball Knicks fans, these guys are knowledgeable, man. They know. Truth. Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate the call. I'm gonna let you go. All right.
Oh, all right, Simpson, and hey, man, hail up to everybody outside. Hail up, Knicks fans. We will win a championship. Trust me, within 3 years. It's going to come. I'll say within 3 years, and let these young guys grow. Hail up to everybody.
I trust you, man. I trust you, bro. All right, man. Have a good one.
What a great call.
All right, peace.
What a great call that was. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The power of your listeners, man. That's just awesome. It really is awesome.
Yeah, man. And I mean, they're passionate. You can't get no more passionate than them. Trust
passionate is great, and then when you get the ones that have passion and just nail, in my opinion anyway, just nail it
right
on every point. That was a great listen. It really was a great listen.
Yeah. So Tommy, I know you got to run, but if you want to, you want to give us a last take before you get out of here, just KD and everything we talked about tonight.
So what I think is, and I appreciate the time and everybody's, information and time. Obviously, I said that twice, but that's how much I value it. Here, I feel, which the caller just said, be patient, and that's sort of the strategy. And I think what the Knicks are doing right now strategically is working. And, what I said earlier about the workout that KD had and the subsequent workout that they had with Kevin Knox, and the words of cautious optimism, to me, that's a massive step forward to trying to lure a player of that caliber, right? So, KD's going to use the Knicks as leverage. I don't know if he's going to leave Golden State. In my opinion, why leave Golden State this year if LeBron doesn't, stack the deck in LA? He's not going to win with Lonzo Ball and Ingram. Cousins obviously was the thought. Everybody thought Cousins was going to go to the Lakers. The fact that he's in Golden State now, obviously Durant's going to stay there. So if it's 3-1 to 3-4, that opens the door, in my opinion, right? And that opens the door to Kawhi to go from Toronto to Golden State, which I think is something people aren't right in this strategy. Have like Durant, a superstar like Durant, an all-time great like Durant, be cautiously optimistic, in quotes, from people. It's a major step forward for the Knicks. And, here we are sitting at, I guess it's August 1st by now, right?
Yeah.
A little after, almost 1 o'clock a.m. That's good news for Knicks fans. That's my take. And Vivek, who's been great, and Mark and Isaiah and all the people. I didn't get a chance to respond to the commenters because I couldn't see them on appear.n, but just really appreciate being a part of this, and tired. It's been a long day, and listen, Timmy, this, basketball and doing that, you pack in it with it. It's exhausting, but it's a labor of love, man. So happy. Looking forward.
Appreciate it, Tommy. Definitely, I appreciate it.
Doing it. Guys.
All right. Have a good one. Have a good one, Tommy. Appreciate it. And I'll be talking to you real soon. All right. Viv and Tommy broke up a little bit right there. But you could imagine, was giving good pleasantries. Broke up a little bit, happens. But Viv, man, what's going on with you, man? I know you've been waiting for a long time. Time. And let me just I got someone on hold. Let me just let this person know that I'll be with them in a minute. All right.
I just need like 1 minute before I sign off. So
okay. Caller, I know I got you on hold. Just give me 1 more minute. I'm gonna keep it live so you can hear, but I'm gonna let Viv speak and then I'll be getting to you, all right? Hey, Viv, go ahead, man. I got you. What's going on?
All right, just before I sign off, I think one important thing I just want to re-emphasize. I think the biggest difference that you saw in Durant pre-OKC or during the OKC days and Golden State was that you kind of saw an evolution in his game, in that you saw him work a lot off the ball. And when we talk about KD and LeBron, you're talking about like these two super teams. What really made Golden State a super team was their ability to do the small things. And that's something that Cleveland has lacked over the last few years when they bring in, these guys with egos that used to be like alpha males. They're like alpha dogs. So, they didn't always do the little things, the things that Golden State can do, But I think of a super team, I think of someone who can pretty much guard 3 or 4 positions. And if you look at the Golden State roster, that's what, they ended up doing. You would see Curry move around off the ball to shoot threes. And it made Durant so dangerous because he was the best mid-range shooter on the team. And he was the best one-on-one scorer on the team. In a team where Klay Thompson shoots about, almost 50% from the field, Curry's 50%, Draymond's somewhere there. Durant is 50%. You can't double off Durant. So, I think that overall, I think what would make New York a hotspot is their ability to convince a player that they don't have to carry a team. They have to they'll be actually a part of a team. And I think that message actually resonates further. If you try to sell Durant, you can carry this team to the championship. What's the reason for Durant to leave Golden State? His interest is not just, he doesn't want to take the entire team on his shoulders. He wants to be part of a team, and that does all the things necessary, all those little things, all the sacrifices to win. So I think you will see that this season with the current group, with how hard they work, and hopefully their play will convince a guy like Durant, to think about New York.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That's my 2 cents about it. Thank you again for let me take a call, and
I appreciate it. All right, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, Viv. Always look forward to it, and keep on doing what you're doing with Tommy and Patreon and everything, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Have a good one, man. Have a good one. Isaiah, man, you lucky that Mark or whoever woke you up, because I was about to blow you up on the screen while you were sleeping. Isaiah was knocked, everybody. He was knocked. I was going to blow him up on the screen just so we could put him out there. But somebody, I think it was Mark, woke him up. You know what I'm saying? You got lucky. You got lucky because you was knocked. You was gone.
I really, Sim, I really was for like a 2 seconds, bro.
2 seconds? 2 seconds. All right, let me get to this caller, man. Let me get to this caller.
What's up?
Caller, what's going on, man? What's popping, man? You live.
Word, man. I'm glad, man. I've been trying to get on here for a while, man. I'm a long time Knicks fan, from Rochester, New York.
Welcome,
upstate.
brother. Welcome.
And like to say what's up to the chat and let Sim know, man, I'm really digging the show. But I just asked for a few minutes, man. Let me get a few things off my chest, please.
Okay. I got you, man.
Here.
Hey, go for it.
Okay. I want to let the Knicks fans, the chat room out there right now, understand this for real. I've been a Knicks fan since the Patrick Ewing days, for real. Went through the hard times, all the hard times.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the brightest time that I've ever seen with this young talent we got. And I'm going to tell y'all, for years we've been looking for the next big superstar, the next big player that we can get in the off season and trades and everything, and it's been nothing but heartbreak. Right now, we in a position we don't need nobody right now. Everybody that we got on that team, I wouldn't get rid of nobody. Okay. And I'm going to give you the reasons why. We don't need Kyrie Irving. First of all, I wouldn't take a chance on Kyrie. He's been having knee injuries ever since high school, college. 2 since he's been in the NBA. We got good young guards right now. They just need to be developed. As far as this big man we got, Mitchell, I think the potential that he got is off the charts. And we ain't even seen the best of his repertoire yet. I'm telling you, this boy can shoot from the 3 and hit it. He can he can get the rebound off the board and take it coast to coast. He can start the break. We just ain't seen this yet. It's just gonna take time for him to get that confidence. You know what I mean? All of these young players, we got to understand that these are very, very, very young players.
You say Mitchell Robinson can start the break?
They just need a couple of years to develop. We got the players right now. We don't need Kevin Durant either. All Knox got to do is just develop. He's young, 18 years old. The boy just got to develop. That's it. We don't need nobody. All we got to do is develop. Just think about it right now. There's not a team in the league right now that's deeper than our team that the Knicks got right now. No team.
No team.
And everybody been talking about Knox, you know, and I love Knox. But I think everybody's sleeping on Trier. That's our next James Harden right there. Look at this man. His game is crazy on the offensive end, and he plays solid defense. Step back is crazy right now. Get to the basket, left hand, right hand. You sleep on him, he'll go up over and bang it on you. Yo, Trier is a problem. That'll be the Knicks' worst mistake if they let Trier get away. And he shouldn't be on no D-League. He need to be playing this year. That's James Harden in the making right now.
Okay.
And I think he got the potential to be better than James Harden offensively. I think people is really, really sleeping on him. And then we talking about Frank Ntilikina. Yo, Frank is a problem. He just got to get his confidence up right now. That's it. He already got a nice jump shot. He just ain't got the confidence right now. But I think with the coaching, Frank Ntilikina gonna be a problem, yo. You know what I mean? So I don't even know why we even looking for guards. We got guards right now.
We do.
What's the boy name with the braids again?
Trey Burke?
Trey Burke is a problem, man. Trey Burke, he is a problem right now. And I done heard some a couple of times saying, the only thing you worried about is his size. I'm not worried about his size because we so versatile with the guards that we got. They just young, man. Everybody just need to develop. If you give these boys, I'm seeing the Knicks in 3 to 5 years winning the championship with what we got right now. I'm not getting rid of Noah.
Without adding nobody. Without getting rid of Noah? You said without getting rid of Noah?
We don't need to add nobody right now.
I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one.
Why?
I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, we gotta develop, but I think we still gonna need to add some pieces. I don't think we have right here. I don't think this team in 3 to 5 years is gonna be a championship team without adding some pieces.
Why not? Because you got to think about it, man. Everybody got to think about it. LeBron, KD, all these old, Melo, these boys only got about a good 3-4 more years in them at the top of their game.
True. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta have to add some pieces, man.
We a very, very young team. And I think we got enough talent right now if we just be patient for once in our lifetimes as Knicks fans and just let these boys develop. And it takes, it's going to take them putting in the work, too, because that's going to play a key in everything. All these boys got to put in the work. If they putting in the work on the off season, for the next 2 or 3 years, I don't think nobody messing with them. Nobody. With this team we got right now, I'm not getting rid of Noah. What we looking for veteran for? Big man. That's our bruiser right there. When somebody want to get tough and get out of the line, we bringing Noah in. We know we gonna get defensive rebounding from Noah.
Dude, I don't think Noah's gonna be in the league in the next 3 years.
Man, I don't think he's done. I think he can still rebound and play solid defense right now.
I hope so. Hey man, look, I don't agree with everything that you had to say, but I love that you had something to say. You know what I mean? So I encourage you to call back, man. I encourage you to call back, but I'll let you go because I know I got some other calls that want to call in. All right?
Hey, but I will be calling back in the future, though.
All right? Without a doubt, man. Appreciate the call. What's your name? Man. What's your name again?
My name's Tori, man.
Tori? Appreciate the call, Tori. All right, man. Doubt. Peace.
Later.
Appreciate the call, Knicks fans. We got a lot of Knicks fans, man. A lot of Knicks fans know some things. I got Nick G right here. I want to talk to Nick G, but I don't know if Nick G is gonna come through because it looks like he's froze. Hey, Nick, you there?
Oh, you can't. You hear me?
I can hear you, but no, I'm not getting any video. The video is frozen, but I can hear you though.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's good, man? What's popping, man? You heard the last caller.
Man. So there's a lot to unravel. First of all, I disagree with him to some degree. So let me just give him some type of respect to this point, because everybody in the chat, also Mark and also Isaiah, is sleeping on him right now.
Literally Isaiah sleeping on him.
Is sleeping on him. So
yo.
Hey, one second, caller. 1 second, caller. 1 second.
All right.
So I'm gonna put it like this: for him, yeah, I don't believe Trey is that good as James Harden. You kind of wild on that one. I don't believe Burt that good, and I don't believe. I believe Frank has the potential to do something special, but I don't think Frank is. He's not better than Kyrie. I don't think he'll ever offensively be better than Kyrie, but defensively, and just a little bit he gives you on offense, and his versatility, the fact that he could play the two, he is very valuable, and he could be a Klay Thompson for this team. So if you just ride this team out and then also just develop guys, you'll make the playoffs, but that'll be 5 years from now. So. Yeah, he might be right to be able to get to the playoffs 5 years from now, but you still got cap space next year. You got cap space 2020. I heard all the talk tonight being about like Durant, Jimmy Butler. To me, I always believe the guy to go after is Giannis, because I think Giannis will never win a championship in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And him. No, I know he's under contract, but I'm talking 2 years from now, you could either trade or you could actually grab him in free agency in 3 years. That's the only reason why I mentioned Giannis, because we don't know what this team development is going to be like 2 years after Noah's contract is gone. Say what? Yeah, he was kind of crazy because he's just like going. He's talking about the most wild. That's the most optimistic Knicks fan we had on the show yet. Like out of everybody, he is the most optimistic guy. And I don't knock him for it, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, something's got to be realistic. Trey is nowhere near James Harden. There's a reason why he was taking PPDs. That's because he wasn't confident in his own game.
Yeah, he's nowhere near
We can't
James
say
Harden.
that about James Harden.
Yeah, he's not James Harden.
You got to put. He ain't James Harden. He wasn't dunking on dudes, and his defense for damn sure wasn't nowhere good.
Yeah.
I mean, James Harden was good on defense before he left OKC. He used to give Kobe fits, but that's not Alonzo Trier. Come on, man. Come on. I don't see that one.
Yeah. I mean,
I still say.
Hey, you know what? But I love these. I love optimistic Knicks fans, though, man. I love it. You know what I mean? You got to have some optimism.
Yeah.
He might be a little off base as far, in my opinion, but you know what? It is what it is. Let me get to this next caller, Nick. But stay on.
One more thing I just wanted to say.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. After the next one, go ahead.
Yeah. Caller. You on live with nothing but Knicks, brother. What's popping?
All right, what's good?
I'm chilling, man. What's up? What's your take, man? We talking about KD. We talking about everything right now, But earlier in the show, we were talking about KD to the Knicks, the possibilities or what lineups would look like. We were also talking about are the Knicks going to be a hot spot in the next next year, next summer?
Well, let me tell you something. KD don't need to go to the Knicks.
He don't need to. Why?
No, we don't need him.
Okay.
Like that dude, come on, dude. Like the other brother called, I don't know his name. I mean, we got good players right now, and that's good. I saw the summer league with the Knicks. I think Knox is special. You know what I'm saying? He looks really special. He say he's gonna they booed him at that that thing we call it the draft.
At the draft,
He gonna prove a point. He gonna prove a point. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I hope so.
All right.
I hope so. I hope so.
Watch.
I mean, I think he's already proved the point, though. He's already proved the point. I think he's already changed those boos into cheers. You know what I mean? From the summer league.
That gonna get him hungry. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But the Knicks do need an all-star leader. See, he need an all-star leader. So, really and truly, I'm gonna think it's gonna be Kyrie Irving.
So you think Kyrie? Okay? I mean,
I think because Kyrie's from what? New Jersey. He's from Jersey. He's in Boston right now, but he really need to go to New York Knicks.
Well, I mean,
we need an all-star leader.
So, Kate, I mean, is Kyrie the leader that you need? Is he that kind of a leader? Yeah. I don't know if Kyrie is that kind of a leader. I mean, he's a leader as far as being a point guard on the floor and stuff like that. Is he like your Chauncey Billups type of leader, Jason Kidd type of leader, Mike Conley? You know, that kind. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna be mad if we get Kyrie. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not gonna be mad. I would love to have Kyrie in New York. I'd be scared. I'm still scared about his knees. I ain't not gonna lie, but I would love to have Kyrie in New York. I think he'd work. I mean, I think if you got Kyrie and you got KP and you got Kevin Knox, the way that these guys are gonna be open and how much better he's gonna help make their games would be amazing.
Yes, and this is what I'm trying to say. We need a leader. We need a point guard leader to know how to make plays for the players. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. You know, a guy that can make plays. I mean, I think that's different than a leader, but a guy that can make plays. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I just want me a leader and a scorer as on the point guard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. I got you. Hey, my man.
We need good.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
You know,
now
we got Porzingis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look,
That's gonna be a big three-point shooter in the league.
Yeah. Listen, I got a lot of people trying to call behind you, and my time is kind of short, kind of limited. All right. So, hey, I appreciate the call. You come from Fort Lauderdale, so we got Knicks fans everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
everywhere.
That's peace.
I'm in Florida. I'm a Brooklyn dude. So
yes.
I'm in Florida. I live in Florida now.
That's what's up. I see you from Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. That's what's up, man. I be in Fort Lauderdale sometimes.
Okay. Well, I enjoy your show, so
appreciate it, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. Hope you call back. All right, peace, man.
Okay.
Peace. Yeah, callers all over the place. All over the place. Who's Mark, man? I'm open. I know you dying to say something, man. You know, we only got a few minutes left to the stream. I know you dying to say something. Oh, you quiet. All right. Well, I'll mute you back. Hey, man. Oh, I mean, you late now, man. Now we got a call coming in.
All right, go ahead. Take the call.
Caller, you live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Sam? How you feeling tonight?
I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm good, money. I'm Delano calling right at NC right now. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody. Wanted to touch on a couple of things. First off, I wanted to say, in regards to Joakim Noah, money's washed. You could go ahead and put him in the rinse cycle at this point. Money is washed. He over. He done with 4 years of injuries. He slowed down. Defenses are now beating him. So at this point right now, he's just collecting money. He's stealing from the team. In regards to Tria is nothing but a scorer so far. So the James Harden thing that your caller was talking about before, miss me with that one. I don't know about that one yet. Frank, let's see what we got with him. You know, under a new coach, that's good on development. You know, I'd like to see what we got. Same thing with Moutier. I'm not going to write him off until I see what we got with, Fizdale. Kevin Knox, he won me over. Summer League helped me, to see what he's capable of. Him and Robinson definitely going to be an issue. Can't wait for KP to get back to see what they do together. I'm optimistic, you know what I'm saying? As far as the Kyrie situation, yeah, I'd like to see what he does. I'd like to see him on the Knicks squad, but of course, you know, the biggest thing is his health and how much he want to come to the Knicks for. You know, we don't want to throw the bag at him, and we don't know for sure if he's going to, you know, be healthy. You know what I'm saying? We don't want him to be there for 50 games, and we need him for the playoff runs. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, it would be a great pickup. I always say Kemba Walker might be a better pickup only because he'll cost less and he's more durable, you know. But if it was a situation where Kyrie was healthy and was able to actually get up and down the court, no issues or whatever, yeah, I'd take Kyrie all day.
Okay.
So in regards to, you know, again, these bad contracts, like Hardaway Jr. especially, Homie's our second best scorer from last year. So I don't know about, you know, trading him right away unless, you know, again, we see what these young guys do. So I'm going to keep them on the squad, you know, run out their contracts, and then, you know, we'll see what happens from there. But like Noah, like once his contract is up, it's up. Same thing with Lee, Lance, Hardaway Jr. Again, like I said, you know, we'll see what happens after his contract is up.
All right.
But it's great. I'm optimistic. You know what I mean? It's been a dark cloud over our heads, especially after Phil Jackson. You know, he was supposed to come and kind of change up the culture. He ain't changed nothing up. He kind of made it worse. So hopefully, again, you know, things is changing now. We see, you know, we see more optimism. We see it definitely. There's a silver lining and everything. So, you know, hopefully next season, you know, again, I'm not looking for us to go to the playoffs, but I am looking to improve, and that's the biggest thing for me. I just want to see improvement.
Appreciate it. I'm with you, man. I want to see same thing. I want to see the same thing, bro. Hey, man, appreciate the call. All right.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the Esco and Mark battle. I'm definitely taking that pay-per-view situation over.
Yeah, we're gonna work that one out. Mark's on the screen laughing right now. We're gonna work that one out. It's coming. It's gonna happen. It's happening.
All right, y'all be good.
Man. All right, peace.
All right, peace.
Mark, let me get to Nick right quick. He has something to say. Let me get to you. See what you got to say about this Esco thing. All right, Nick, you there?
Yeah.
You was
the
about
one thing
to.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. The one thing I wanted to say was that it is good that we keep our players. You know, that says a lot because it's a big difference from what we used to do. But ultimately, you know, everyone, I think the goal for everybody as a Knicks fan is to win a championship. But we gotta figure out the right mix. And while Like I agree with that caller to some degree about the Kemba Walker. He's a cheaper contract, yeah. But the thing about the Kemba Walker thing is Kemba Walker won't bring the next guy here. So he can't bring Jimmy Butler. He won't bring or attract Kevin Durant. So the team that would win the championship will not be with Kemba Walker. Like it just won't work. If your ultimate goal is to win the championship and not just let's get to the playoffs and keep on, you know, just being mediocre, then you'll never get there. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go after Kyrie.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like just like what Mark said, he's not that guy, but at the same time, he is that's second fiddle. You know, like that's that's below the tier that we want, because if we go after somebody in 2019, we might as well swing for the fence and go after the best. It doesn't make sense that we go after Kemba Walker from get-go because the contract is cheaper and we might be flexible. That doesn't work. You got to go after Kyrie. You got to go after Jimmy Butler and try to make that work. You got to go big or go home.
I feel you. I feel you on that. If you got the money, listen, I feel you on that. If you got the money, you're not sacrificing your young boys. I'm with you on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, with you on that.
I did want to ask, like, who do you, if to build this super team or whatever, we're gonna have to trade somebody. You know, like well, what I'm saying is, okay, you talk about if we get Kevin Durant, are we getting rid of are we not getting Jimmy Butler, or are we getting Jimmy Butler?
I mean, I think
which one is it?
If you're getting Kevin Durant, you're probably not getting Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Or you're either not getting Jimmy Butler or you're not getting Kyrie. You're getting, two of the three. If it turns out that way, right? If you find a way to open up enough money or whatever it is, you're getting two of the three, and then you're depending on KP and Knox to be your other guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me get the mark, because I got about 3 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
We've been on for like 3 hours, but I wanted to get a good show in. I came back. I've been away for like a week, couldn't really get a good show in. I wanted to make sure I got a good show in tonight. I think we had a good show, a lot of opinions, a lot of people talking.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that much work. I kind of sat back and enjoyed the conversations, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? But Mark, how you feeling, man, about this Mark versus Esco? What's up? You ready for it? I mean, we haven't heard from Esco. Esco hasn't called in tonight. But Esco, hold up. Esco did send me an email.
What he said?
And he said he can't wait to get this on.
Listen, tell him whenever he's ready. I'm up every night, bro.
I'm telling you right now, Esco said, and Esco sent me something. I'm going to show it on the next stream. He sent me a little video. Huh?
Is he threatening me?
He ain't threatening you, man. He showed me a little. He sent me a little video of his man cave, all filled up with New York Giants stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope. So I'm gonna show that on the next video. You know what I mean? Show it on the next video. But he's ready for it. He's ready for it.
Cause I like him because we share some of the same.
Okay.
Same things. And
we're gonna see how this rock out. Let me get to this caller right quick. Caller, Ryan, caller, you on live, man. What's popping? What's up, man? You got about a minute because we're about to get up out this camp.
Got you. I appreciate you taking my call. I've been listening to what you guys have been talking about, and I think we need to be a little bit more realistic. I don't see KD, honestly, and I love the Knicks, man. I don't see KD coming to New York. I just don't.
Okay.
I do agree with the one caller said we do have most of the talent here on the team, and we have to groom them. Another thing, if you think about it, if you think of all of the successful
Uptown, I'm never scared.
Even the Yankees, let's say, you always have your highs and lows, and depending on how you draft, you can sustain those highs for a longer period of time. For the last 3 years, I say we have drafted smart. Golden State didn't get to where they are by getting free agents. They got lucky with KD. But those guys, most of those guys on that team, that core team, they drafted. I mean, we need to take a page on their book.
Well, I mean, they drafted Curry, Clay, and Draymond. Right. Then maybe a couple other pieces of core, but then they still filled out the team with free agents.
No, I understand that, but I'm talking about your core guys.
Your core guys.
The core guys. You have to round out your team with free agents. You're absolutely right. But I don't think we need to. I cannot see us going for two guys that's gonna play 55 games a year. That's like we need to not forget what happened with Allen Houston. We need to not forget what happened with Eddie Curry, Jerome James, etc. You know what I mean? We need to be smart. These next 2 years are crucial. A lot of things have to go our way for us to even get those two guys. I think Burke, Moutier, and Frank Ntilikina, one of those guys are gonna pan out. You know what I mean? To be our starter. We might add another person, but another person will come off the bench. The good thing is I could see Frank playing with Burke during stretches of the game together, because they will actually play well off each other. You know what I mean? Especially Frank Ntilikina, actually learns how to shoot the three. If he does that, we're good. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I don't know what you were gonna say.
Nah. I mean, listen. I understand what you're saying, and you're right. We build with our young guys, right? And then we add free agents. But I still feel if you have a chance to not move your young guys, keep your young guys, keep your young core, and still add somebody. Because you have the money. I mean, I don't see where that where it goes wrong. I mean, as long as you add the right guy.
I agree. I agree. It's all about getting the right guy, but I don't see us going all in. I don't want the Knicks going all in on Butler, on two guys that's going to give us that played 50, 60 games tops in the last 2 years because of bulky knees. I want a guy. Last time I called, I brought up, Chris Middleton. I would love a guy like him. He was hurt 2 years ago, but he showed he bounced back. You know what I mean? And if you watch Milwaukee, they didn't really start playing well until he came back 2 years ago when he came back from that injury. And last year he played well too. Actually, he had a career year. Guys like that that don't really need the ball too much, because we have too many alphas. We're gonna have KP. We're gonna have Knox. They want Kyrie. There's too many alphas. I mean, look what happened with the Lakers when they played against Detroit. There were too many alphas.
Okay, all right. Good points, man. Great points. Great points. I mean, and that's the thing. We got a lot of stuff to hash out between now and next summer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure we're going to have these same conversations over and over, because we got a lot of stuff to hash out. But hey, man, I appreciate the call. I'm about to head off for the night. You know what I mean?
Thank you for taking my call, Simon. You have a good night, my man.
Appreciate it, my man. Make sure you call back. We'll be on Thursday night at 10:30.
Got you, my brother.
All right. Peace, man. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 1:34 a.m. and I thank you guys for staying up with me, except for Isaiah. Isaiah could not stay up with me. Now he heard his name, I guess. You know what I mean? And that's all right though. I need all you guys to download this video and just take that little 30-second clip of him sleeping while we're talking and post it all over Twitter, post it all over Instagram, wherever you want to post it. I'm giving you permission to take it and post it. You know what I'm saying? Put that man out there. But listen, man, before I rock, one thing I do want to say, before I get out of here is, let me take these off because my ears is a little bit hot. But I never been a big fan of LeBron James. Never been a big fan of LeBron. But he made me a fan, or at least a supporter. LeBron James opened up a school in his hometown. You know what I mean? And it's free tuition, free uniforms, free transportation within a 2-mile radius. And if you graduate, free tuition into, I think it's Akron University or whatever it is. So for anything that you want to say about LeBron James on the basketball court, that he changed the game, that he's the best player that ever lived, if that's what you want to say about him. What he's doing off the basketball court is so much more important. It is, that's where he's truly changing the game. You know what I mean? And you got to give it up to the man. He's truly changing the game. His school is starting, I think, like 250 kids in the school. And, those 250 kids, if they do the things that they need to do, they're going to have a free college education. That's changing the game. That's doing things that other athletes have not that's uncharted territory for athletes, and I think other athletes need to follow suit. And I don't care, there's going to be people out there that say, well, he's not paying for it all by himself, or come up with whatever they want to say. I don't care. I don't care if he coordinated and partnered with 1 million different people to make this happen. The fact is that he made it happen, and that's much respect due. You know what I'm saying? So I put a call out there for any person, any little piece that you can do to help build your community, help your community grow, help children grow, children that are living in conditions that you wouldn't want to live in, conditions that you wouldn't want your family or your children living in. I grew up in conditions like that. You know what I mean? And it's not easy. It helps you build some character. It does. But it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? And our kids, we have a lot of kids, especially in the city, and even kids in some rural areas that just don't have the resources and the access to resources to accomplish their dreams. You know what I'm saying? And become successful individuals in whatever and whatever they determine to be their success. You know what I mean? So I really want to give a lot of respect to LeBron James for that. That's big. That's real big. Anything you can do, anything I can do, I try to do it. Anything that you can do, I encourage you to please go out and do it. I don't care if it's just helping, giving a kid $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 to get some lunch. It might be needed. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you can do, take part, be part of it. But big shout out and much respect to LeBron James for opening up that school. I think it's called the I Promise Center or whatever it's called. I forgot. But much shout out to him and much respect. He just, whether or not he cares, he just bought himself a fan. You know what I'm saying? Or earned himself a fan, not bought himself a fan. So much respect for that. But anyway, I'm out. We've been on for 3 hours. I respect you guys. Love you guys, for staying up with me. My man Isaiah is trying to wake up. You know what I mean? He look at him. He trying to wake up, turn the light on. You know what I mean? He was gone for a second. But shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Who's Mark for always staying on. Being on with us, trooping with us for every stream. He was asleep for a second too. I seen him. He dozed off. He tried to act. He's trying to act cool now, but he dozed off too. You know what I mean? But that's peace though. That's much love. Right. So I'm out. I'll be back on Thursday night, 10:30. You know what I'm saying? It's a slow news cycle, but it's always something to talk about with the New York Knicks. So we're going to find something to talk about. Trust me. You know what I mean? If you have some topics, if you have some things that you want to talk about, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the email, whatever it is, let me know what it is you like to talk about. And maybe we add some of those things to the show. You know what I'm saying? So hit me up. Let me know on Twitter at Nothing But Knicks. Instagram at Nothing But Knicks. Talk to me. Let me know what you want to talk about. Other than that, I'm out. Talk to you guys Thursday, 10:30 p.m. If you enjoyed this stream, please subscribe below. Ring the bell. Get a notification anytime that I go live. I will see you guys Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Be prompt, be on time, because I'm going to be there and I'm going to be on time. Peace.